All right, look at that. We are live for the what was supposed to be a round five live stream, but the Patriots are on the clock. They just traded up with the Seattle Seahawks to pick number 137 in the fourth round. I don't know if we have a return just yet, but they were equipped with 3 fifth-round picks here, and
maybe.
I'm assuming that they moved one of them, some of them, to move in, but
yeah. They traded up to 137 for 144 and 238.
Traded 144 and 230. Okay,
so their last seventh and a fifth-round pick. So that's good.
Yeah. So they'll have this pick, and then they'll
Joshua Farmer.
Okay.
I think. I think Reese just tweeted 2 Farmers. Okay. I love that. That's my boy. Please.
Pick 137 for those. Okay. So that's where we're at. Patriots now 3 picks.
Patriots traded up.
They traded up. Here we go.
All right, let's get in there.
Let's throw up our boards. I think we both had them.
All right, hold on. Ready?
Hey, hold on. We're live, baby. We already went.
Oh, you went?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I ran out. And that's it. Who did they get?
So Reese tweeted what looked like 2 Farmers.
Yeah, it's got to be Joshua Farmer.
It's got to be, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Farmer.
Which is, if we look at our top 5s here,
you got your D-line.
He was my number 2. We called it. Let's go.
What did I have him?
Oh no, Taylor didn't have him.
Oh no. My God, I freaked out and did
oversight.
Well, you know what that means, Taylor? You don't get to be excited. As we've learned anything from the Marte Mapo situation, is if they're not on your top 5, you don't get to like them. Mike owns this pick. Mike, tell us why you liked him.
Because they need defensive line help, and he's from a Florida State school that I wouldn't consider them necessarily a powerhouse along the defensive line. Obviously, well, Braden Fisk and what's the other kid from LA that they drafted last year? They have they're able to crank them out down there a little bit out of Florida State. So yeah, Joshua Farmer is a defensive tackle who helps continue building out this defensive line front that the Patriots really desperately needed after a struggle of the last season along the defensive line. So they go 4 on offense on days 1 and 2, and then we come in with day 3 with 2 defenders. And I'm excited about the pick.
And Wolf, true to his word here, did say that we got to patch up some holes here, and you're looking at depth at this point. Yep. A guy like Farmer, what's the profile in terms of, is this simply depth? Is this someone that can work into an average starter who has a high ceiling, a high floor? Like, how do you project this, Taylor? This player in terms of, again, we're in the 5th round here, so there's a lot of dart throws.
Yeah, he's a great penetrator. I loved him at the Senior Bowl. Dane Brugler described him as a captain whose attitude really started to show last season. I really like this pick. I think he's a good build. Like, for a nose tackle, if they just want a guy to get upfield, like, he's just a game wrecker. I loved watching him at the Senior Bowl. I'm trying to see if I can find any clips. But yeah, this is a really good pick. I'm glad they did stick to it and got themselves a defensive lineman. I got it. Yeah, it was him beating Gray Zabel. I think it was. Yeah.
So they had 144 and 146. They traded up from 144 to go get that pick, and they threw in Taylor, you said pick 237 as well, or 238. Mm-hmm. So they'll be coming up at 146 here relatively soon. But yeah, they
so much for value. Everyone's so mad about the Woodson value.
Farmers comp on ESPN, according to Groovy Coop 13, is Barmore.
Okay.
I like it. I like it a lot.
When Taylor gets dancing, it's deep into day 3.
Because I actually got to watch this guy in person and was like, Jesus, it was him and Aeneas Peebles, who I was just like, who are these guys? They were just destroying people.
Yeah. Joshua Farmer.
This adds a, John, you asked the question about, impact player, immediate starter, depth position. Like, if anything, it gives you another person on that front where you mentioned the Barmore comp. If Barmore can't go for whatever reason, we don't know entirely what his situation is. It adds depth there. And if Barmore can go, it just gives you another depth piece along the inside where, you wonder now, I mean, who was on the inside? Who was Jaquelin Roy? Who's the kid from
Iris
Friends?
Tonga, Jaquelin Roy, Jeremiah Farms.
Jeremiah
Everybody
Farms,
knows
yeah.
Jeremiah.
Yeah.
This is a guy also who, just based on, again, if you viewed that the 4th round pick as a bit of a reach, some people might have thought more of a later round 5th or 6th rounder based on rankings. Farmer is somebody who is inside most people's top 100 in terms of their big boards that you're getting here at 137. One of my
3rd rounder.
Yeah, one of my favorite things is trading up versus trading back. Trading up is conviction. Trading up is my guy. Trading up is I got to get him. Like he's still there. I didn't know if he would be there. I got to go get that guy. This is also oftentimes when you see a pick, when you see trading up after you made another pick, certainly in these later rounds, a lot of times it might have been like Farmer was in consideration top 4, but they thought maybe we could get him later. And when it got close, they're like, let's go. And so I love that. Do we have details of the trade yet?
Yeah. So they were at 144 and 146 in that 5th round. They used 144 plus 238 that they had in round 7 to go get him.
So wait, what did they give up? They gave up 144
and 238.
And 230 still on the clock coming up here with a pick early in round 5.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. So that's 147, correct?
146.
146. Okay, so they still have 146. Okay.
So they have 146. This is what they have left. 146, 171 in round 5, and then they have their 220 in round 7, but they gave up their 238 to go get Farmer. So
yeah. So we talked about it at the beginning of the kind of the reset when day 3 began, when I jumped on here with you guys, the idea of trading back up into the 4th round, because again, look, late 4th, early 5th, it's about the same thing here. But again, 4th rounders, you're talking about guys you're expecting to make the team and potentially even contribute in a backup role early on or develop into regulars or rotational players or depth pieces. So again, trading back into that 4th round, I do like here, and you did have that draft capital and the ability to do so. Again, it's only a few picks, all trading up 7 spots here from 144 to 137, but I like that they did it. And I'm guessing this is a player that they valued pretty highly. So definitely good value here. One more pick here in the 5th round. And guys, let's go through it and just look at your other top 5s here, because we do have some. Taylor, did Domit put on Horton because he insisted on it? Did he edit you?
No, he's just such a good value at this point. It felt
okay, because you didn't have him in there originally, right?
That was the last second change I made. Honestly, I didn't really think too much about the player I took out. I just kind of put him at 3rd. But it was because he, like Joshua Farmer, was a fantastic value, and I really like Peegs, and Jordan Phillips is like the nose tackle that I wanted the most. So I do regret taking Farmer off. But yeah, Tory Horton at this point is an absolute steal. If you want more speed on your offense, and Jalen Polk isn't the guy you're sold on necessarily, I still believe in him, but I think Tory Horton would be great.
I love, we're all speed freaks at this point, right? Because you've seen too many. I guess it's all a matter of what hasn't worked. You go out there and you hit on a Puka Nacua type, and you're like, speed doesn't matter. Just go get good football players. But you strike out on N'Keal Harry or Polk, who, again, it's still only year 1. And that's why I started day 2 saying, like, please just don't get me contested catch guys. I just want guys who can run. But you've also suffered through the Tyquan Thornton era as well. So guys who just run and do nothing else and can't, battle for the ball or bring it in or play through contact, sometimes that doesn't work either. So you're always going to get flawed here. But Horton is another one of those RAS guys, right? Like who has ridiculous relative athletic score compared to all other wide receivers, not just straight speed, across the board, a super, super athlete who, again, it's the type of guy you look at and you're like, why is this guy still around?
Yeah, and the leadership too. Like, you get a guy where he's best player available, he fits a need, and he continues to do what you want. I'm trying to find did he not participate at the combine? I'm trying to find his testing numbers right now. So at the combine, yeah, Jesus Christ, he has 35-inch arms.
Yeah.
35-inch arms, 10.25-inch hands, 83 3/8 wingspan. I'm trying to see.
That's more than Campbell.
But like seriously, that is like 35-inch arms for anybody is freaking insane.
Yeah.
Josh Farmer, looking at his mock draftable to see how he compares to other players at his position. So among interior defensive linemen, wingspan 87th percentile, arm length 94th percentile, hand size 85th percentile, 10-yard split 37th percentile, which isn't great for what you're talking about, like getting off the line. So he wasn't fast and he didn't bench a lot, but his broad jump was 112 inches. That's 85th percentile. So that shows you that he is explosive and he can get upfield.
Yes.
So
yeah,
the numbers are good. The spider chart looks good. It's pretty well filled out. So athletically looks good.
So we like this one right now. I also want to go back on the Patriots' 4th round pick, Tayler, and you had a chance to go in and spend a little bit of time here in between our live broadcast. Any kind of developing opinions?
I wasn't. So he said in his presser with us, and honestly, he's like everybody else, seems awesome. Craig Woodson. He mentioned he likes to watch physical safeties and playmakers. In the game I watched against Syracuse, he didn't have any plays on the ball. I actually thought he kind of got picked on in man coverage. Like they targeted him a lot with those tight ends. He didn't break up a pass, so he was on the hip a few times. But I don't think he's like has the mass or the hand size or the punch to really disrupt passes. So he was there a lot, but didn't stop anybody from catching any balls. In pursuit, I thought he was solid. He kind of reminds me of Marcus Epps, where he's not really a big hitter. At least, again, this is one game sample. I could watch his highlights probably and get a better idea for what he does well. I just don't think this was one of his better games, but he is, I think, a lighter safety. I wouldn't like him near the line of scrimmage more than I needed to, unless he was in man coverage against matchups with some, more big receiver types than necessarily those big guys who can just body you up. And yeah, I like him more as a center fielder, probably. Still need to see him make some plays from center field. I think that's what'll probably sell me, but I thought this tape against Syracuse was fine. If I just need to see more, honestly, so I can get a better idea of what they exactly like in him. But he does communicate a lot. He lined up literally outside, in the middle, this safety, that safety. So you see the versatility, you see the intelligence. I didn't think his processing stood out necessarily in a positive way. There were actually a few times I thought he was a tick late figuring out where the ball was going. So unfortunately didn't love him as much upon initial review as I thought, but still I got a lot more games to watch. Next up, I'm going to see how he performed last season or 2023 against Michael Penix Jr. and that loaded Washington offense. Also maybe give me some more faith in Jalen Polk.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt about that.
Did you see that Abdul Carter asked Lawrence Taylor if he could wear 56 with the Giants?
This is what people were talking
and
about.
LT straight up said no.
That's the kind of like he's his own guy. That's nuts. That is one of the best players in history.
Yeah,
Cam Ward did it with Warren Moon, but that's also like
didn't Warren Moon present it to him?
I think so. Well, yeah. But I think he asked him before. But even still, like that's different than LT Warren Moon.
And also the history of the franchise, like a black quarterback for the Titans means something,
Plus,
so like I get that. But
plus it was Oilers versus Titans. They presented it as like a new changing of the franchise type of thing. Where LT asking for 56 is straight up crazy.
And like, it's not even like he's Myles Garrett, where he's coming in the league and it's like, no, when he was like a sophomore, he probably could have kicked a lot of guys' asses. Like Abdul Carter, like we said, he's freaky talented, but like, he's not that dude where I would be like, yeah, no, it's kind of funky, but I get it. That's a bold move.
Can I tell you now that we're well past this and it doesn't really matter? It feels like that, everyone talked about the 3-player draft and the Patriots were going to be standing at 4. And it's like, well, if Carter falls, that's a huge victory. Dirty secret, like my dirty secret. I didn't want him. I've never been an edge guy as in the premium position universe, like I get their value, but I think you can get pass rush and you can get it a lot of different ways without guys that are situational players. I'm not saying that he would just be, but I just don't think it impacts enough of the game on a regular basis. Plus some of the other stuff and the baggage, plus just based on those team needs. Like, I don't know. Like, if you're telling me you got Micah Parsons at 4, I'd be like, well, you got to take Micah Parsons at 4. But anything short of that, I just didn't really want it. I would have preferred getting Carter to fall into your lap at 4 and having other teams freak out because they really wanted it and see if they could move up for it. But I didn't necessarily want the player, so I'm not super bummed that didn't necessarily happen. There was a trade worth talking about, so we will bring it up really quickly, and that was the Seahawks are trading Sam Howell to the Vikings. So now there's a backup quarterback position open on the Seahawks, who have moved up to pick 142. So could this be?
They took Jalen Milroe yesterday.
Oh, that's right.
I totally forgot about that.
I forgot they took Milroe. I forgot that's where it went. So Sanders is not. Oh my God. So I don't want to do the Sanders discourse any further. It is still banana land that this is happening. I'm not just talking this draft or guy sliding. This is one of the more insane sports stories I can remember in all sports recently. A situation like this, it is really, really crazy. Here is that Vikings trade, 142. They jump up ahead. The Patriots are, of course, at 146, going in here and trading Sam Howell, who was a starter 2 years ago, which is just crazy to me here. Drake May's former teammate at UNC.
So Seattle's QB room now is Sam Darnold, Jalen Milroe, and they also re-signed Drew Lock this offseason for what it's worth.
Yep.
And now Howell seemingly goes to Minnesota to back up JJ McCarthy. That's kind of what that feels like to me. I don't know if there was any overlap with coaches he had potentially been with to go to Minnesota, but again, it's a 30 pick swap for Sam Howell. Seattle moves up, gives up Howell for it after trading for Milroe. It looks like a good trade as far as Seattle goes, but a relative, like you said, 2 years ago was more interesting. Sam Howell was kind of fallen off, for lack of a better term, but a solid backup, I guess, for a team in Minnesota.
That guy would have given Jameis a run for his interceptions. Like, pray the good Lord, delivers him away from pick sixes as well. He just throws it wherever the freaking hell he feels like it.
So, Jeff Darlington from ESPN tweeted that he could see Miami as a landing spot.
I saw that as well. Yep.
Miami is now on the clock after Seattle just picked. So this could be one to look out for. You wonder if they go and do that. But so it's Miami, Seattle again, Philly, who Tom Pelissero floated as a Sanders landing spot earlier today, and then the Patriots coming up at 146. So
yeah, they are 146. Where are we right now?
We are
143.
143. Okay, so a couple. Yep.
Oh, sorry. I was just remember when we were making fun of how Ryan Cowden and Mike Vrabel were just kind of buddies, and Elliot Wolf is I don't know if that was I think that was actually maybe when we were there yesterday. But yeah, so on the first day, we're like Ryan Cowden and Mike Vrabel were like huddled up in the video the Patriots released, and then you just cut to freaking Elliot Wolf kind of by himself just watching them, and it's just like, oh, why would they do that to him? They showed on the ABC broadcast when Joshua Farmer was drafted, Vrabel and Elliot Wolf give each other a little fist bump, and Elliot Wolf is in the middle of Vrabel and Cowden. So,
I mean,
the brain trust.
Again, I don't know exactly how this works entirely. You do definitely get a feeling that, Wolf and his staff are the guys who put in the work, in scouting here. And so they're providing the information.
Vrabel's like, find me these people, and
then you're pretty sure that Vrabel and maybe even Cowden are kind of the deciders, but a lot of these players I'm sure are being presented by Wolf and his staff. And when you're getting this deep in the draft, you're talking about, I feel like round 4 might have been the last Vrabel pick, because that's a guy who he mentioned in his interview that he was the only Patriots was the only team to interview him at the combine, and he did a top 30 visit. So they had earmarked him as a guy that they were getting him one way, no matter what. They were going to get that guy. And at this point in the draft, it might be like, all right, Elliot, what do you guys got? What's left, with these sort of things. So I could easily see a lot of these being if not wolf picks, so to speak.
So, just reading some tea leaves here. I don't know what.
Read them.
I know.
Mike loves his tea leaves.
I know that the Browns drafted Dillon Gabriel yesterday, but two NFL Network guys going back and forth. Tom Pelissero says the Eagles could be a landing spot for Shedeur Sanders. Rap Sheet, Ian Rappaport just tweets, the Browns just traded up over the Eagles at pick 44. And then he writes, would they ever double dip at quarterback here and take Shedeur Sanders right now?
The Browns?
Yeah.
Who'd they draft yesterday?
Dillon Gabriel.
Oh, right. God.
I don't know.
Maybe that would be so toxic. That would be so toxic.
What?
No way.
What
There's
I do
no
believe
way.
at this point with what?
I said no way for the team that gave Deshaun Watson the biggest contract in history.
They took Shedeur Sanders.
The Browns.
The Browns took Shedeur Sanders. Wow.
This makes no sense.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I have the perfect meme.
Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders are both selected by the Cleveland Browns.
Oh my God. This is insane.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
They're such idiots, man. They're idiots. They're idiots.
I don't understand that. I'm confused. I got nothing because I don't understand the.
I don't understand this at all. I don't understand.
Are you doing him a favor? Are you getting rid of Dillon Gabriel? Are you?
I don't know what this means. I have no idea what this means.
Hard Knocks. It has to be. I want the whole. I want preseason, regular season. I hope there's a draft kit. I want all of it.
Oh my God. This is how I feel right now. Wait, let me share my screen. This is the dumbest thing I've seen since Deshaun. Maybe not, but
I don't get it. It just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. That's why we don't get it. It doesn't make any damn sense.
Because it's one thing when teams go rookie QB early, rookie QB late, like the Patriots did last year. Even Washington did it with RG3 and Cousins. That one was still a little odd, but like you go round 3 quarterback, round 5 quarterback. What's the? Yeah.
That's all this is. Why are you doing this? Who are you helping? Just ridiculous. There's no reason to do this. Now you're creating such a weird situation in your quarterback room. And it's like, yeah, you see this guy, Dillon Gabriel. Yeah, be him or F you. Oh, my God. And then who do they? Flacco again? Browns depth chart. Joe Flacco, weird. Kenny Pickett, Dillon Gabriel, Deshaun Watson. I mean, I don't think Deshaun Watson's ever stepping foot in that building again.
You really need, you just need to put all 5 of those guys in an apartment together and just do real world, basically. Like forget Hard Knocks and just go. Browns draft Shedeur Sanders, 144th pick in the NFL draft. There you, with the Patriots pick, Pats had 144 originally.
That would be really funny.
Yeah, they did originally.
The Pats could have had him.
Damn. Oh my God.
This is banana land. Patriots are coming up very, 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 very soon. We'll keep talking about the Sanders thing. I'm curious what kind of intel we gather here as it goes on, here as well. So interesting.
It's so, oh man, poor Keegan. Keegan tweeted literally 5 minutes ago, Shedeur Sanders legitimately might not get drafted. That's what it takes sometimes. You need to put that in the universe for the universe to be like, oh yeah, bet. What a weird quarterback room that's going to be. Giardi tweeted, that's quite the room in roster construction.
So they trade out of one Colorado player in Travis Hunter, and they get the other one in the 5th round after drafting Dillon Gabriel in the 3rd round.
I got to ask, I'm going to I'm gonna text Corey and see what he thinks.
Yeah, he's probably out of his mind.
All right. Well, while we wait here and kind of spin our wheels, look for the reaction here. Again, the Patriots are going to be popping up on the clock soon. Real quick, want to tell you about our sponsor here I almost said the Garden Report because I'm also punchy with our Draft Central coverage. And that, of course, is Prize Picks. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Put your sports opinions to work. Turn it into actual cash. Win up to 1,000 times your cash. You download that app. You play 5. You get 50 instantly in your account. It's that simple when you use promo code CLNS. Super, super easy to do. Of course, you can cross sports. Great time to do it. Basketball playoffs are kicking, and they are underway here. You have hockey playoffs, baseball season underway. Terrific time to do it. So, again, download that app. Play 5, get 50 instant. Code CLNS for first-time users. Once again, play 5, get 50 instantly with the code CLNS when you sign up today. Prize Picks, my friend. Run your game. And see how I timed that, Mike? That's called being a professional.
Not bad.
Professional ad reader. No. So, yes, check out Prize Picks for sure here. Patriots are coming up in just a minute here with another pick. Guys, what do you want to see?
I want to see an edge rusher. Let's see who the best available are at this point, actually.
Yeah. If it's not on your screen, you don't get to like them. There's no edge rushers here, Taylor, so no. Sorry. Mike, who do you want?
Well, the Patriots are on the clock. Philly has picked.
What about Swinson? Why is he falling?
He apparently got into it with his coaching staff. That doesn't feel insignificant when a guy's sliding.
Is that what it is?
I'm guessing so, yeah,
because this is the best talent. That and Horton seem to be the best available, correct?
Yeah, I think so. Also, Chris Paul would be a really good value here. The linebacker out of Ole Miss.
What, the point guard?
Yeah. Oh,
Dude can do everything.
I'm just being an idiot, as I tend to do. Okay, so Swinson, Marcus. Not that they would take him, Bo, but he's still available out of Purdue.
Restrepo.
I would like.
Jeffrey
the amount of people texting me Mbo for the last 2 days. Why is everyone in love there?
Because he has a really unique play style. He kind of he looks like a genuine boxer. Like he kind of plays with his food, with his punches and everything. He moves crazy well. Like he doesn't move like an offensive lineman. He moves more like a tight end because he's kind of lighter in his lower half. But he's really physical, really aggressive, has great versatility, can play any position. Fun guy to watch. Like that's why he's a fan favorite.
All right, let's see where we at. Are we on the clock yet?
They are on the clock.
Back on the clock. Patriots are on the clock at 1:46 right now.
So Philly took Mac McWilliams right in front of the Patriots. That was somebody we'd talk about a little bit. Not that.
All right, Patriots on the clock at 1:46. Still quite a few interesting names available here. We're going to do what you guys are doing, just kind of watch and wait and see what happens rather than get distracted and talk about other things. So as soon as the pick comes in, we will react to it. Patriots on the clock with 1:46. Hold on one second. Okay. Is Mike Reese going to do cute stuff again?
I think so. Yeah, they always tip him the picks on day 3. Oh shoot, they're talking to Joshua Farmer now. Hey, that's just how it works, man.
That's okay.
That's the one thing I don't like about draft weekend is you got to split the baby sometimes. He said, once I got past round 2, I just wanted to go to a great organization. I'm just happy to be off the board. Farmer expected to go in the top 3 rounds and had a draft party in the last 2 nights. Damn. Stop.
I'm looking at the clip. It is almost sad. Wolf is like, did I do good, Mike? And Mike gives him a little fist bump.
Yeah, come get it. Oh, boy. All right, what do we got, Pats?
Also, I just wanted to maybe talk a little bit more about Joshua Farmer while we got time, because we know that Terrell Williams likes his violent guys, right? For him, he doesn't care as much about like technique. He just wants guys who are going to create a problem. I'm looking at Dane Brugler's report, and he says Farmer's a burly, power-packed lineman who can deliver pop at contact and get himself free with his active hands and trajectory quickness. He can muddy things up in the run game, although his base strength shows cracks when he loses leverage, and his block recognition must continue to develop. Overall, Farmer goes through too many quiet stretches on film, but he is a force creator with his natural power as a two-gapper and promising pass rush tools. He should step into a rotation as a rookie and has the potential of a full-time starter. I think what he does early on, and this is what Terrell Williams did a lot in his last couple stops, is he would use pick stunts where we saw them all the time with the offensive line for the Patriots last year. You send one guy to just like wreck the tackle and blow him up while he's looking at the edge, and that frees up somebody around him. I think Farmer's disruptive enough that he can get the attention to make those work. And like Adam Butler used to do, where he, even though he's the penetrator, ends up being the guy who gets the pressure first because he's so disruptive. So just a little kind of, Braden Swinson.
They got him, huh?
They got your boy. Okay. So the first time they kind of go maybe off the beaten path with the like super high character guys.
So,
let me look at his scouting report.
Yeah. So Taylor, this is interesting because when I had put him on my quote unquote big board before round 4, going into this morning, I put Swinson on, and Taylor had said that he was a guy who kind of butted heads a little bit at LSU with his coaches. So, I mean, I inherently moved him down, but still thought, hey, edge rusher at the top of the consensus boards at that point, and someone who should be at least in the conversation. Now, 3 picks later, they go 3 defensive players, and they go get Swinson at pick 146, which feels like value to me. And like you said, off the beaten path a little bit, maybe character-wise, but at this point, it's dart throws and someone who's obviously talented. He played with Will Campbell at LSU. He was a leader. Excuse me. Will Campbell was a leader at LSU. Maybe there's some sort of connection there. These guys know each other. It works out well that way. So I like it. They needed edge help, and he's someone who is clearly talented enough. I like the pick.
But it's got, again, this is what you like at this point in the draft. You go 2 ways right here, right? Mm-hmm. High upside guys that fell for one reason or another, guys with elite physical traits like burner speed, who maybe need a year or 2 to develop at skill positions or whatever, or you're filling needs, special teams, X, Y, and Z. So, the sexiest thing you can always do is, I love these guys who fall. Fine. Who cares? It's a 5th rounder. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If he's an asshole, you cut him on day 1 and you never think about it again. It doesn't matter. But again, you have a guy that most people projected somewhere, some had inside the top 75, potentially a 3rd rounder, late day 2 pick. And in most big boards, you're seeing him, definitely inside the top 100. This is a solid choice, and one that I think you can be happy. So again, you reach in the top of the 4th round for a player that felt like I got to have it sort of guy that consensus had maybe as a late round pick. And then you draft 2 guys that were valued a bit higher, in terms of where you got them with Farmer and Swinson here at a couple of areas of need. So again, look, not everybody you draft hits, right? But in terms of going and filling needs, how much better do you feel about the Patriots since the Stephon Diggs signing till today, in terms of looking at what was left to address and going out and addressing it?
I feel great because they've done literally everything that we. Yeah. I mean, they've done everything that we've asked them to do. They got the left tackle. They got the situational edge rusher. They got the disruptive interior defender. They got the help around Drake May. They got their center of the future. The only spot on this roster where I legitimately think there's still probably an issue is kicker. Obviously, you still need a starting kicker. And I think honestly, left guard is the only one that's uncertain. And you have so many bodies. Now you have Jared Wilson, Layden Robinson, Cole Strange, City. So you have so much competition at that spot that I don't really care. Like, that's legitimately enough talented guys where it's like you can legitimately throw that at the wall, see what sticks. And you got a bunch of veterans and Will Campbell on your offensive line. You beefed up the backfield. You got the veterans that Drake May needed to grow around to kind of get him stable. And on defense, now maybe they just like linebacker. If they want a true slot corner, I could see that being addressed. But like, I think they only have really 2 to 3 true holes when it comes to like developmental talent.
I love this draft. I'll say it. I'm fired up about this Patriots draft. And the tiny hesitation I had on Henderson has been wiped away with what they've done the rest of the way. And I've done the day two thing ad nauseum as far as how else they filled it in. But these 3 picks today have been really solid. I love I like the Craig Woodson pick. It felt a little bit of a reach, but again, what they did after it, where you trade up, and John, like you said, you trade up, you have Joshua Farmer in mind, you go get him. And then Braden Swinson, who I had mentioned at 106, falls into your lap at 146. You deal with whatever concerns you may have because he's just that good of a player. So from top to bottom, hitting 4 offensive needs, hitting 3 defensive needs, and you still have 2 picks remaining. Plus, again, I keep going back to my favorite pick in the draft being Jarrett Wilson because of the way they worked the board. They go get a starting center. They get 2 picks out of it. Getting that 5th round pick out of the Jarrett Wilson deal helped them trade up to go get Joshua Farmer. So, like, they've worked the board really, really well these last couple days. So, I give them a really solid grade. I don't know what the letter is just yet, but they've worked their magic for sure.
Is it? Can you even give them a B? Like, what would even justify a B? I don't see I don't see any real missteps, to be honest. And I know, like, I give my asterisk.
The reach at running back, maybe, and then Woodson being reach, maybe. But like, that's not really. It's not like they've done it. Look, they didn't draft Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, right? Like, they haven't done anything egregious here. So, yeah, maybe an A minus. I don't see them getting into a B range as far as the draft.
Let me ask you this: we can't possibly know because we don't know of their relationship. But I'm curious where Will Campbell comes in here and talks about Swinson here as a teammate. We don't know if they knew each other. We don't know if they liked each other. He might think he's the biggest asshole in the world. We don't know how that's going to go. I'm curious if he pops off here or comes up on social media or he has any commentary on this pick. But I also do wonder if you have it with the leadership traits of a Campbell who can bring in somebody who maybe had some issues from the same school, whether that kind of helps it along a little bit. I think having that connection there can't hurt. It can only potentially help there. Also, they're going to be going at it in training camp, which is going to be kind of a fun thing.
Yeah,
it is going to be really fun.
So you have that as well.
Also, Matt Hamilton, who works on the Up and Adams show with Kay Adams, he just tweeted something out. I'm retweeting it, Amit. Maybe we can find a way to pull it up. But he was saying there's a little taste of Joshua Farmer. They did an interview. Hopefully we can get some way to pull that one up. But this pick reminds me with Braden Swinson of when Vrabel was saying, I don't remember the exact quote. Do you remember, Mike, where he was essentially like, we're not trying to take risks, but we're not also like trying to build a Boy Scout team or anything like that. Like, you're trying to build a football team. Braden Swinson is the first guy that I feel like fits that to a T, where like you look at his scouting report, there's nothing about, he was a captain, high character, any of that stuff that we love. But this dude can play football. He can fill a role, and it's a high value situational position where maybe he develops into more. Like, again, I just wanted to see if they buck the trend, like where maybe, they decided to take the turn with this draft class. Because again, we had the Javon Baker example. I don't think this is that. I need to do more digging, but it's cool that now we have the example of, they're not just going to take all the high character guys, like you were saying, John. They will take a risk on a guy who they think has a role that's going to be significant on their defense.
Yeah. You like it. You have to love this stuff here. Patriots have one more pick here in the 5th round. I don't know if we're going to make it that long, but we'll hang out for a little bit. We did want to play a clip back from one of our earlier analysts who did have something to say about Braden Swinson here. And again, I think certainly like a lot of things to be really excited about here. With the swings that they took. Again, Farmer wasn't a 5th rounder, jumped up into the late 4th to get him. You have to really like these picks here. You really do. You really do. Anybody else go of note that that you guys liked here? Because again, you do have a pick coming up in a little bit, so there's still a chance to grab somebody that were on your round 5 big boards here. I'm just kind of going through the draft.
I have so much stuff open right now. My computer's freaking out.
I mean, Max McWilliams going to pick before the Patriots was someone who I kind of had in mind at one point, but
yeah.
Okay, so to that point, because I think it was Andrew reported that they were interested in him. I watched. I liked the reports. I put him in one of my mocks as like a 5th, 6th round pick. did not like it. I watched like 3
Okay.
games and I thought I didn't think he was very aggressive. I didn't think he tackled well. I thought he was on the ground too much. I didn't like his balance or his recovery. I did not like him nearly. I had struggled to find plays that were positive. Like if I don't post someone at all, you know that I'm not very high on them, which also like I can't post everybody, but he was one of those guys where I just avoided it because I was like, I don't see them taking this guy.
Interesting.
And even if they liked him, I think it would maybe be a Higgins or somebody in that room who has power is like, no. I appreciate what you have to say. No.
Yeah. For everyone out there talking about drafting a kicker, I have NFL people finally reached the point of you know, that like the fantasy community reached a long time ago. You wait till the last round or you just pick them up after the draft. Like you don't need to draft a kicker. Like the best kicker in the land might get drafted. And then the second, third, and fourth are available after the draft is over. Like, yeah, you got to bring in somebody to compete here, but anything before a 7th round pick on a kicker, please no, please no.
The video of Shedeur's draft party is actually kind of hilarious.
He's really
thrilled.
funny. He's doing a dance, doing a little jig.
Which, hey, good for him because he went through it for the last 72 hours. So for him to still have that attitude is pretty cool. I like this quote from Joshua Farmer. We're bringing the old New England back, is what he told reporters a little while ago. So
a little bit of Baker in that one.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, removing this.
We have a reaction to Shedeur Sanders compilation here. Yeah.
Quite the room.
I mean, why? Look, good for Shedeur. Why did the Browns take Dylan Gabriel is my question.
I don't know. That makes if it was just their quarterback, but taking 2 now, I have no idea what they're thinking.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right. What pick are we at? Are we hanging out through the Patriots pick or what's our deal?
Where are we at?
151. Patriots pick at 171.
Oh, I found the Vrabel quote. He said, "We can't win with a bunch of good dudes. You can't win and you can't you can't win and you can't do what we want to do with a bunch of good dudes. That's not going to get it done." Braden Swinson. I also don't want to like character assassinate the kid. It's literally just that apparently he clashed with the coaches. Vrabel could very much see that as, or it very much could have been a situation where just the player cares and he's young. The guy's 22 and maybe didn't know how to express himself well. So like, I'm not trying to paint him any kind of way. Yeah. Again, it just bucks the trend of like, oh, this guy was a captain. Everybody just raves about him. Braden Swinson just, he doesn't have to be necessarily that guy, but if you produce on the field, that's all that matters. You don't have to say a damn word as long as you speak on the field.
Yeah.
Speak with your play. You can speak on the field both ways. Yeah, so here's the exact quote from Dane Brugler. Butted heads with coaches a few times, according to NFL scouts. So interview process will be key. Suspended for the first quarter of the 2024 Florida game for not meeting team standards. I wonder if anybody's going to ask about that. It's not going to be me. I know my role in that. No, that's not true. Like last year, I put on the like what the hell is going on hat when I had to with Mayo, but I like to keep it to film and stuff and scheme.
All right. So 2 picks left for the Patriots. What do we want to see them attack now?
I just love these defensive line steals, man. They got crazy.
Yeah, they got 2 good ones.
I can't wait to watch these tapes.
These were areas of
I'm not sleeping tonight.
These were areas of depth in the draft. And again, that's always the great thing is when you're drafting guys who it's not just where you're getting them here. It's guys who in past years with different draft classes, different areas of depth might have gone up a round or 2 higher. To be able to get them where you're getting them, I think is something worth considering here. We knew where the weak spots were in the draft and what was going to be difficult to amass a lot of talent in. But this was an area people thought that they could grab some guys, day 2, maybe even early day 3 and make an impact. So again, I think you're still even into the 5th round here, still pulling players that could mix in kind of right away. in some capacity, which is pretty impressive to be able to do that at
I
this
think
point.
all of them do, yeah.
Yeah, that's what's very cool.
That's why
it's easy to fall in love with guys because the scouting reports are all like this guy's great, but it's the friggin' NFL. It's really hard to whatever. But all of these guys could compete almost right away. Go ahead, Taylor. Sorry.
No, you're good. But it's just that, like, the reason I'm very high on this class, and like, remember last year, I did mention, like, you need 3 of your rookies to contribute. And I was saying, like, Poe could be that guy. Hopefully Baker's that guy, Caden, Layden, whatever. But you needed multiple. I didn't know that would be the case. I was hoping so. It was like, let's see what happens this summer. Now, one, they did a good enough job in free agency that no one but Will Campbell has to start, right? They don't have any glaring holes on their roster now that they have Will Campbell. So you don't have to force these guys to play. They don't have to carry the team. Although Kyle Williams, obviously, that's more of a caveat where, like, if he is someone who starts for you and is a consistent contributor, I think this is a very good offense. But we're not even getting that far. You can see where Kyle Williams fits day one. Travion Henderson, like you said, Swinson and Farmer are going to have roles early on because they bring things that they don't have a ton of in those certain positions or rooms. So, and I tweeted out, it's kind of like a 2010-esque foundational draft where, you know, there's no Gronk or anything, but you got a Will Campbell, a Travion Henderson, like guys where you can see them truly being pillars of the team for years to come. Kyle Williams also, oh my God, you should look at the clip I uploaded last night where he's basically is like, your goals don't care about your feelings.
Yeah,
it was like, I feel like he's gonna give Morgan Moses a run for his money as a quote machine, but like you can see these guys are very mature. They want to put in the work. They are very attentive. We have no idea how it's going to work out, but it's easy to see where all these guys can fit in. And they have the volume now this year, not just on offense, but on defense, where the hit rate should be much higher because you're kind of spreading it out among positions.
Yeah, and again, it's you talk about those foundational drafts, and that's kind of what it goes down to. If you want to go through, just general history with the Patriots, you're talking about, this is a team going all the way back to the days where you're a one-win team. You end up with the number 1 pick in the draft. You draft Drew Bledsoe. You have your franchise quarterback, but then you start to chip away and you build. You grab Troy Brown in the 8th round of that draft as well. You grab Chris Slade in the 2nd round of the draft. You draft, some other players that come in and plug and play like Rucci. The next year, you're back in the top 5 and you get Willie McGinnis, the foundational defensive player, and you continue on there, on and on and on. And then you just keep going and going. And as time goes on, you're drafting Ty Law and then Ted Johnson and then Curtis Martin, and you're just adding and adding and adding. It takes 2 to 3 years sometimes when you do that. I mean, if you're going to be in a position to draft, and again, everyone's a little bit spoiled by what you see happen with CJ Stroud over the last year and then Jaden Daniels. Those are outlier sort of situations, flipping the script with just the quarterback in a single year when you're up that high in the draft. It usually is a process, but you need those additional drafts. You need to have a draft where you're grabbing 1, 2, 3 guys that are going to be core pieces for 8, 10, 12, 15 years, and they all kind of move together in it. So that's what you're hoping you do. That's what's such a bummer about last year, and you don't want to grade it out completely because it was a shit show. You have the 2 offensive linemen that dealt with injuries. You don't know what's going to happen. You have the 2 receivers that couldn't have possibly done worse. I hate to think that they threw an entire draft away last year, and if they did, that's what makes this one all the more important here. You got to come away from these drafts with 2 and 3 foundational pieces that you can ride along. They don't all have to be stars, but they got to be able, okay, great. This guy, bang, I filled this hole. He's going to be my starting left guard. He's going to be my whatever. So really, really, really good job here. I say we do hang out a little bit if we can, guys, unless you want to jump off for Swinson. I think we can, but I'll leave it to you.
I'd like to for Swinson. I will say, though, one of my buddies in the league has texted me about the picks today. The reactions have been for Woodson, fun, for who is the pick after that? For Joshua Farmer, good, and for Braden Swinson, great.
There it is.
So the reviews are glowing. I really have yet to see anybody outside of our bubble who doesn't like the picks.
Yeah, I hate to shut this down because I'm going to tell you right now, we got 1,900 people watching this on YouTube at the moment with 7,500.
They like us
with 7,500 all throughout here as well. Coach Prime tweeting, "I love what the Browns have done this offseason. What?
It begins.
No.
Oh,
way.
that was in 2018.
God, that's an old one. Okay,
Oh.
guys, guy sent it to me here. I was like, oh my God, that's terrible.
That's so funny.
Oh, thank
I hope
God.
he doesn't.
If that was
I
new,
hope
I
they've
was
learned
going
their
to say
lesson.
that's not what Dion wants to do right now.
Nope. There's a clip though of the Browns war room when they select him, and Andrew Berry, the GM, is like, just has no.
I saw that too.
He's just like, please, someone else give me a job. Get me out of this freaking crazy place.
Whatever the odds are right now on who the Browns' day one starting quarterback is, I'm betting it's Sanders. Honestly, yeah, there it is. Hooray! Golf clap.
Look at Stefanski, dude. He's the quarterback guy. Look, he's the guru. Look at his face. Oh my God.
Strange situation brewing in Cleveland.
Browns fans need to relocate. They need to just not make the Browns a team. They need to dissolve them again. They don't deserve to be in this league.
I'll just ask this. If you're a Browns fan right now, what are you most angry about? That you passed up on Hunter at the top, and then ended up with, fine, Graham, who knows what he's going to be, an unsexy D-tackle pick when you had a premium slot selection, or wasted a third-round pick on a quarterback who's the second-best quarterback that you drafted in this draft. Like,
I mean, the Travis
Thank
Hunter
you, Jeff.
thing.
Thank you, Jeff.
I credit these guys, but thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. The Travis Hunter thing would have bummed me out if I was them. Now, we had Corey Kinnon on, who is a Browns guy, earlier today, and he was kind of saying, I mean, Jacksonville gave up a haul to go get Travis Hunter. They gave up 36. They gave up a future first and a couple others in there too. So there was a pick swap involved, I think, but they gave up a lot. So, I mean, the Browns got their money's worth for it, but what Corey kept coming back to is, but now we don't have Travis Hunter. And now we don't have Travis Hunter. And I don't know exactly what picks, whether it was another third or a fifth, whatever they got back, but one of them might have been used on one of these quarterbacks, or the fact that they had draft capital from the trade might have been like, well, we have an extra one. Let's throw another dart at Dylan Gabriel, or let's throw a dart at Shedeur Sanders. And that's not worth trading out of Travis Hunter for. So the Browns are in an odd position here. They did also draft two running. So, the Browns have drafted two running backs and two quarterbacks this draft. By the way.
Mbo is gone, by the way.
Where?
He went to the Giants.
Oh, Swinson's on. I'll stay on. It's fine.
You can go if you want.
You can go. Mike and I'll spin our wheels a little bit here.
Yeah.
All right. I'll be back.
Try to not disappear too long, but I think we just hang at this point. It's a party in here and everyone's hanging out. So just keep the stream alive.
All right. I'll be right back.
Thank you here, Anthony, sending in a super chat. We do appreciate that. We appreciate all of you guys, honestly. This stuff's divvied up among the hosts as well. It doesn't go to the evil management of CLNS Media, those tyrants. So we do appreciate that for anybody who sends it in here. The Browns QB room is goddamn funniest thing in the world. My God, guys. Here.
It's just it's a weird whole thing. Now, I don't think Deshaun Watson's going to be there. Kenny Pickett's probably looking at himself like, what the hell is going on? You're going to give me these two. You're going to be Dylan Gabriel and the circus that is Shedeur Sanders to have to compete with now. Like, there's going to be pressure one way or another in Cleveland now to get Shedeur on the field, whether it's from media, whether it's from ownership, whether it's from Dion himself. Like, you just added an entire new storyline to this quarterback room saga. So like, I don't get it. It's so bizarre. And I also didn't get them passing on him earlier, but then once they took Gabriel, it was like, okay, it's over and they don't want him. And then all of a sudden they come back in and swoop in. It's just a weird, strange situation on top of the fact that they also took two running backs.
Swinson is talking right now with the media. Just to update you a couple of things that he's saying right here. He says that he had been on two Zoom calls with the Patriots leading up to the draft, including one last week, and they did have an informal meeting at the Combine. So they did have him on the radar. Again, a good bit of draft work here, trying to read the slide in terms of where he might go, and being able to snap him up here seems like a good bit of work by the guys behind the scenes. which, not to go on a full tangent, I think is a really underrated aspect of kind of running a personnel department is being able to read the room. Where can you go?
Yep.
Like, where do you need to go? What you're going to get? I do think we got so frustrated in the Belichick years, Mike, of I like this guy, I'm taking him. I don't care about value. I don't want to mess around and trade down and see if he's still there. When Patriots traded down, it's because they didn't like anybody, right?
Right.
The next 20 guys were all the same to me. I don't give a crap which one I get. And so they would trade out and down. But when they would stick and pick, oftentimes it was like, I just don't want to deal with like possibly not getting this guy. I like him. I don't care if it's 2 rounds too early. I like him. Don't know if he'll be there next time. All it takes is one other team to like him as much as we do. I'm taking him here. So there's a gamble involved. I felt like Belichick never took it. And that's what would drive you insane. And that might be the case of the 4th round pick here. But with this is reading the room correctly on where he's going to go. Swinson also said, for those people who like criers, and we saw Will Campbell go out there and cry at the NFL draft when he got picked, talking about it. Swinson says he cried when he got them the Patriots. He was so psyched to have it here. So again, having people who like and believe in you, particularly if you're a guy who's had his run-ins, that's the buy-in. And again, here's the beauty and the magic of the Mike Vrabel situation. The best thing, I mean, there's a lot of good things you say about Mike Vrabel, the coach, but the thing that seems to be universally lauded across the board is his ability to connect with players on a personal level and to get them to believe that he cares about you. And if you have a guy who's clashed with people in the past, that's the type of person who's going to be able to reach a person like this. You're also talking about a guy who's playing a position that Mike Vrabel played, similarly. And that matters as well. So again, I like a lot of elements to, again, who this guy is, what position he plays, the fact that he also played with Will Campbell, as the type of risk that's worth taking. If they've been so hung up on character with the lot picks, this feels like a swing that you're okay to take. And
there's a thing in like, there's an inherent thing there where it's one thing if Braden Swinson was drafted with we got a bunch of crybabies. Like it's one thing if they take a Swinson in the 2nd round, and there could be an entitlement factor there where when you fall down the board because of X, Y, and Z, you just want to work harder and go prove your worth in the league. And so I agree with you too on the character versus just great football players. And again, like Tayler said, we're not trying to sit here and dump on Braden Swinson's character. We don't know enough yet. All we've read was that there was a clash with coaches. You don't know what was involved in that. Shit, I clashed with coaches my entire college football career. I turned out to be a decent guy. So long story short, you wonder, or if you put it in context of last season, right, where they bring in the character guys and then they take their swing on a Javon Baker. And you mentioned Mike Vrabel. Last year it was Gerard Mayo who was in charge and involved, who had never really dealt with personalities and people as a head coach of a football team, and shit hit the fan. Where Mike Vrabel comes in, he's done this before. He brings in guys who are already the bedrock and the foundation of what the Patriots are going to build here. And then you start to add other guys into the mix. The other people lead by example. These ones, call it a Braden Swinson, follows in and kind of plays up to that. And then you go from there. So no, this is shaping up really well. And as far as reading the board too, John, like last year, it felt like maybe they outsmarted themselves or didn't read the board correctly when you look at the Jalen Polk trade, where maybe they should have just stuck and picked Ladd McConkey, but instead they traded back because they knew they had their guy in Jalen Polk, and it didn't work out yet. Where this year, again, who knows? Jared Wilson could stink, but the fact that they traded from 77 to 85 to 95 still landed him, netted those picks. One of those picks allowed them to trade up for Farmer. Like, this looks good so far. But at this time last year, we said this about that Jalen Polk trade, where they could have had Ladd McConkey. Instead, they traded back and took Polk and Baker with the other pick, and it looked great on that front, and it didn't work out. So a lot of this is wait and see. You have to evaluate it now. But things look good so far, and from this perspective, they've worked the board pretty well, I would say.
Yeah, look, and you're dealing with injuries with those offensive linemen, so again, it's not fair. But Wallace was a clear reach after they weren't able to kind of secure that position earlier.
Right,
the Patriots got stuck. This happens. Anybody who's ever, I don't want to compare NFL drafting to fantasy drafting, but it's the same concept in the sense of you have tiers, right? You have guys and you're like, as long as I get one of these 5 when it's my pick, I'm thrilled. But if they all go, you don't know what the hell to do at 6, you're just like, and you end up reaching for a guy you didn't want, or you don't know what to do. You don't know where to trade. You don't know. It feels like that happened to them at every station last year, in the second round when it got to, they couldn't get Coleman or Leggett. They weren't in love with McConkey for whatever reason, and they traded back because they didn't care anymore. The same exact thing when you got to Wallace. Wallace was, he went about 50, 60 picks ahead of big board consensus, I think, at that point. So that was a reach. The board played them. They didn't play the board. And here it feels like they're playing it better. It's a really underrated aspect of personnel management here. So Tayler, what do you hear? What do you say?
I'm a sucker. I love
He
guys
cried.
excited to get drafted and everything.
cried
He's cool, man. He's funny. I
Yeah.
like him. Like, you can tell he's a little bit different. Like, he's a charismatic dude. He's he loves himself some Will Campbell. He said he hasn't gotten a chance to, former teammate, obviously, for a couple years. He said he hasn't gotten a chance to call him yet, but he's really looking forward to it. He said, man, you've heard Will Campbell talk. That man's going to be a 10-year vet in the NFL. He's not going to let his quarterback
said that about him?
touch. Yeah, he said he's going to be a 10-year vet, not going to let his QB get touched. He's a blue-collar worker, and he was excited to talk to him after we hung up. So they really like each other, and I tweeted, it's going to be really cool watching those guys iron sharpen iron, like, because those are going to – it's kind of like with Kayshon Boutte and Derek Stingley. Remember how Boutte is one of the only people who beat Derek Stingley deep, and he was the only one, I think, who did it for a touchdown. And Boutte said that he won because he knows how Derek Stingley plays and was familiar with him. So having that, I think, is really cool. A guy who already knows your game really well, knows how to exploit your weaknesses. And when Braden was asked what he excels at, he said one-on-one pass rush winner. That's your guy who's going to line up on the right side in the Kayvon Chason mold and just get those battles against left tackles and try to get after it. I could see him either pushing Chason for snaps or maybe getting him off the roster because Chason's on a 1-year deal. We'll see how that works out because Harold Landry's not going anywhere. He's making a lot of money. He said he's trying to get swole because he's gotten critique for his size. He's like 250, 255 pounds because he's a speed to power guy, which I love. Like, if you're a speed to power guy, I'm going to like you because there's nothing that affects the quarterback more consistently, unless obviously you're Von Miller and you got an unstoppable ghost move. But he also said he likes setting guys up with speed because he is explosive and mixing in different moves. So again, like, this is your guy. If there's some roles in the NFL, or if you do one thing well, like if you're DK Metcalf, you run a go and you run a slant and no one does it better than you. If you're a pass rusher and you can't stop the run for a damn, but on 3rd and 10, you are going to make a play, that eats in the NFL. So he seems like he's going to be a fun guy to cover. I think he's going to give us some pretty good quotes. And yeah, I'm excited. He also knew about Terrell Williams. He said he's excited to get to learn from a great coach. So yeah, that's really it. And he says the Patriots, bow on it, Patriots are getting a dog. So
all right.
Is that damn? I didn't have the oomph I was hoping for, but I tried.
From us? Oh, you wanted us to react?
I mean, I said, but I had to say I don't. You can.
Oh no, I will. We have a saying on the Garden Report, and it's called "Facts, my dog." And that's when everyone stops paying attention. And then there's silence, and they don't know what to say, and then they go, "Facts, my dog."
That's definitely Jimmy.
And
that sounds like a Jimmy.
That's a Jimmy. That's a Jimmy.
Yeah.
Jimmy stops listening, and then we talk. Then there's a silence. There's "Facts, my dog."
Facts, my dog.
That's actually really funny.
So you just got facts.
That.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do next time.
That's gonna
yeah, the Garden Report people in here know.
ADHD
Not
podcast.
everyone. It's just Jimmy. It's a Jimmyism.
I like it.
So you just got facts, my dogs. Apologies.
I deserved it. I shouldn't have left.
No, it's all good. Guys, we had a couple of other things we wanted to talk about just in terms of other aspects of the draft. And while we spin our wheels here a little bit, where are we right now?
Pick 159 is on the clock. Patriots pick at 171.
171. So we got a little bit of time. So while we got you guys here, we'll hang out because we did have some other questions about, what the Patriots have already done through their draft. So again, we keep mentioning the guys they drafted last year with Wallace and Robinson, and now you're talking about bringing in Wilson this year, and obviously you have Campbell. That's 4 premium draft picks. Top, first 2-day picks on linemen the last couple of years. And when you're drafting guys that high, you see them play. Here, you still have Cole Strange, who was a first-round pick and hasn't really seen the field because of injuries and other reasons as well. And you brought in Morgan Moses at right tackle. You re-signed Mike Onwenu to a really big deal, so you've got that. So let's look at and project the Patriots' starting offensive line as you see it. And what's also interesting is what starts – oh, and also what's his name? The Vikings,
Garrett Bradbury.
Bradbury as well, coming in here, presumably to start at center. How do you see this playing out? And again, let's do both scenarios. What you think is going to happen based on pedigree and based on, sometimes it takes rookies a little bit longer to get up to speed versus what you would like to see happen.
So I'll just say, looking at it, and I'm kind of writing it out right now as far as like inside out where these guys are actually going to project. Campbell is going to start at left tackle. I think that seems like the obvious choice. And then on the right side, it's Mike Onwenu and Morgan Moses at right guard and right tackle. Garrett Bradbury for now starts at center, but it wouldn't shock me if Jared Wilson kind of, pumps through and makes that happen and can have a good camp enough to push for a starting spot. And then the only other question mark, the big question mark here is left guard, because like Tayler, I know that you're high on Layden Robinson, especially as a run blocker. They drafted a running back. They also have, a stable of backs here, and I feel like they'll lean on that to kind of help out Drake May. So I wonder if it's Layden Robinson. I wonder if Cole Strange, now that he's essentially being bumped out of the center room, let's call it like it is, because Garrett Bradbury, Jared Wilson
also could profile at a guard too, because he was kind of like a 6th lineman over there, and he plugged into center because that's what they needed. But I wouldn't be stunned if he competes at that left guard slot also. But anyway,
yeah, sure. So, but I do wonder if Cole Strange can make a push at the left guard spot, given what we saw last year, and if he could be another guy though that's also on the outside looking in of the offensive line room in general, like we talked about with John Saranides last night, like. Some of these Belichick picks, your City Sows, your Jake Andrews, even a Cole Strange. I know you need depth, but might be on the outside looking in. So I think it's 3 locks in Campbell, Onwenu, and Morgan Moses, and then left guard and center are kind of up for debate.
Yeah, left guard's going to be. I think left guard and center are going to be competitions, because I think what it's going to probably be is Layden and Garrett Bradbury as the top guys on the inside, just because I think Layden finished at left guard. I think he's shown more and showed more upside than Cole Strange did. And then maybe that second unit is Cole Strange at left guard and Jared Wilson at center. But I also think Jared's going to get some flexibility. Like, I think it's going to be one of those situations where we see a rotation for the first few weeks until something really settles in. But in terms of roster locks, I think Layden is a lock. I think Caden's a lock. Unless they get like Cameron Williams. If they draft a Cameron Williams or a Logan Brown, then we know that they're not totally sold on Caden Wallace, or that they see him as more of a guard type. But I think I love the youth that they have right now with Layden, so Will Campbell, Layden Robinson, Jared Wilson, Mike Onwenu, who's still only 27, and Caden Wallace. You could have your offensive line of the future if you wanted. And now, I don't think Vidarian Lowe has a roster spot. I don't see how Cole Strange makes the roster anymore, to be honest, because you have guys with versatility inside.
That's what I wonder too.
Yeah. So I think they keep 8, maybe 9. Sorry.
No. I agree with you. I think Strange has a shot to win the center spot. I do, because I don't know that Bradbury, I think, was I don't know what I have here, but I need something here. And, but they're in love with. I think whether it's Wilson or Strange, they have a chance to win that outright, because Bradbury is not great.
He's replaceable. He's a replacement level starter.
He's a very replaceable player. You feel really good on the right side. I mean, Moses is older, but you feel good he's going to be able to anchor that side. But that's Wallace's eventually, if he it comes anywhere close to being what he's supposed to be. So for now, you're looking at Moses, where Wallace is your swing tackle or your backup over there on that side. And on Wenu, you just put him at right guard where he's supposed to be, and then you feel fine. I really do think, and you're fine on the left. It's really that rotation. It's anybody's game. And Mike, I don't know if you have an opinion here. Strange you're talking about two regimes removed here. So like there's no loyalty here. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
Well, maybe it's a hyper local thing where I feel like a lot of people here, Tayler, we've talked about Layden Robinson being plugged in at that left guard spot. I feel like nationally, like for example, when the Patriots drafted Will Campbell, Adam Schefter did here's a projected new look at the Patriots offensive line, and he plugged in Cole Strange right away. Now, I don't know if I know what I'm talking about, Adam Schefter, or if I don't want to say I don't want to.
I think he looked at a depth chart online.
Yeah, look at it. Right. Looking at a depth chart, seeing, I remember Cole Strange. He played there last year, yada, yada, yada.
First round pick. Former first round pick. Why wouldn't he be starting?
Right. And so I feel like he should still have a chance to compete at left guard, but also could very well be on the outside looking in. I feel like he's the biggest question mark as far as the offensive line goes. Like, I just mentioned the Belichick guys in So and Jake Andrews. Like, I don't see how those guys get on the team, especially with the things they've done. And then anyone on a one-year contract, like you're talking about Garrett Bradbury, is easily expendable if Jared Wilson plays well. So we'll see what happens. But Strange is definitely the most, I guess, volatile one in the room.
I'm trying to think if there's anybody in there. City, right? Because I was like, there's somebody we're not talking about who never gets brought up, and City still exists and was good as a rookie. My thing with City, though, is he was already an older prospect, and the fact that Scott Peters kept bringing up his lack of football experience. He's played it a lot, but he hasn't played in the States a lot. And Canadian football is basically a different sport, just like college football is basically a different sport in a lot of ways, but even more so. So I like City a lot. He's a good dude. He did look good as a rookie. It's just he was so hot and cold because he wasn't very technically refined. He was kind of it was kind of like F it, we ball. And I think that's why he regressed so much last year, was because they were like, no, you need to do this. And he was thinking so much that he just kind of couldn't function. And the injury obviously set him back so much. I think that was a pretty significant part of it. So City, I think, is the biggest wild card in that room. I would put City over Cole Strange to make the roster. I'm not thinking twice.
You would?
Hell yeah. City is at least an emergency. Actually, I wonder if Cole could play tackle. I wouldn't want just like Cole, but like the girth. Like we know this is going to be a primarily gap scheme, and at center you can be athletic. I just don't think Cole has the size to compete with the guys on the roster right now. Like if they're all even, Cole doesn't make the roster. Yeah. In terms of like they're all playing at the same level according to their abilities. I think that you get, plus contracts wise also, Layden and City under for multiple years. Cole's out of here next year.
Yeah. Just updating, we are now at pick 164. The Pittsburgh Steelers are on the clock. The Patriots are going at 171 with a fifth-round comp pick coming up here. So we are going to hang all the way through here. Just updating again to the people here. Why people totally get why day 3 is such a hot day.
Yeah,
John, you're cutting it out.
I'll pop out. I'll pop out and I'll come back in.
All right, pop out, because we also have a video of Daniel Harms from earlier talking about Braden Swinson. We spoke with him a little bit this afternoon about edge rushers. He was very high on most of the class. So he gave a little sneak peek on what we could get from Swinson. So let's take a look at that right now. If I can get it on screen.
Pass rushers in this class at LSU. Now, he might just be a designated pass rusher early. You see the run defense not necessarily there, but this is day 3. We're looking to get some guys that can rush the passer right now, because I think that the Pats need. They need real juice as a pass rusher. And I think that Swinson has advanced hand usage. Not just with, I know everyone gets caught up in the how many pass rush moves does he have. It's awesome to have a full bag, right? It's great to have a full bag. But if you're sitting here in the fourth quarter and you're doing the same thing over and over again, how good is the bag? We have to see sequencing. You have to be able to set guys up. So whether it's footwork tied to hand usage, attacking inside, and then coming across with a cross chopper, a slap, and a rip, you want to be able to see advanced sequencing. And not every pass rusher has that. I think that Braden Swinson showed flashes of actually sequencing where he'll attack inside gap early on in the game, or he'll just try to win the edge, and then he'll come back with abs outside and then a quick fake. That's what you want. You open up the B gap, where you want to condense the tackle side to open up your arc a little bit so he can corner as well.
A little bit of a laggy video, but you get the gist. So yeah, someone who is gonna come through and hopefully help this pass rush, Taylor. We are at 164. Patriots coming up at 171, so we're less than 10 picks away. What are you looking at now as far as
Kicker.
where are we, round 5? You think they're gonna go kicker?
No, I think that's no. So what picks do they have left again?
171, and then they're off until 220.
171 off to 20. Yeah, I think kicker probably in the 7th. This one I would go either developmental tight end or developmental slot corner, depending on how they feel about. Is Bossa still on the board?
No, Bossa left.
Who's he on?
He went to the
Chiefs.
Let
me see who the Chiefs got. They say pissing me off.
They took your boy from Utah
Josh
State too, Jalen Royals,
Omar Norman Lott, Ashton Gillette.
Yeah.
Noah Williams, I didn't watch him, to be honest. They literally took everybody that I liked or had love for at any point in this class.
Mitchell Evans, the tight end from Notre Dame, just went too. So we're talking about those developmental tight ends. That was someone we had spoke about a little bit on the show. Let's see who's on the board tight ends wise.
This is the best Chiefs draft class they've had I feel like in a long. I'm going to ask Harms what he thinks. Best class.
Well, I guess while we
like
go
the
up,
best class in a minute in terms of like all the guys who seem like they could fit roles long term and at least situationally. Like Bossa is a long term. He's going to be a captain if he is the kind of player they hope he can be. Josh Simmons is going to be a 10-year starter. If obviously that all works out. Jalen Royals is explosive. That is like the perfect for most receivers. The Chiefs are a perfect.
Yeah, right.
But really for him specifically, where he still has some work to do as a route runner, he's still growing. But I think that obviously getting in an Andy Reid offense where he can be the Rashee Rice, where we just scheme you touches and you can just like go catch it fast or whatever.
Yeah.
Where that came from. But like the speed, you got Xavier Worthy too. Like this was a very good pick for them. And he doesn't have to start right away. Omar Norman Lott, ridiculous next to Chris Jones. Ashton Gillette, I really like his versatility, his power. He wasn't a guy I got to do a deep dive on, but in watching other players, he flashed and I was really impressed. Who did he give? He gave somebody a hard time. Was it Campbell? I think it might have been Will Campbell. He had a little bit of no, Ozzie Trapillo. One of the only people that I think got a sack or like a really bad loss against Ozzie Trapillo was Ashton Gillette. So yeah, man, he said, Harm said it's on par with one of their really good drafts. Noel is a my guy, so I loved it. They've done a really good job for sure.
Interesting. I hate when teams like that have good drafts.
Yeah, I know.
Like the Eagles too, but so as far as I guess we can get into this now with as we wait until they pick up at 171. Like you love Travion Henderson. I like the pick now. I'm in the like category with I'll give it a capital L. Like
you're dating the idea of respecting running backs.
Yeah, right. But so where does the future of Ramondre Stevenson land in your opinion? Like
you're taking Henderson on a second date.
Yeah, right. I swiped right, but I didn't. We haven't spoken yet. So, but no.
You better hope Case not in the house.
Guys, am I laggy now, or everything seems okay?
No, you're good now.
You're good so far.
I restarted, but anyway, go ahead. What is the future?
Yeah, so I still think this is a duo because I think with Travion Henderson, the fact that he's had injuries in the past, I don't want him being relied on as the bell cow. But with the ball security, he gives you the option if Ramondre fumbles, like we think of like the 2013 Broncos game against Peyton Manning, where LG fumbles like really early in the game, and then the rest of it, it's like, who is it? It was some back, like was it Burkhead or somebody. It was like one of their like backup running backs really just took over and got all the touches that game. If Ramondre fumbles and it's gotten to the point where they're like, we don't trust you, I do think that Travion Henderson can come in for like a game or two and be the guy that gets almost all of your touches. I don't want that. Right. That is not ideal, but I think he's good enough that he can carry the load. But I think he'll be best in a committee where you use him as your third down back / change of pace back. I also like the idea of a pony package with him and Antonio Gibson, because they're both big guys, tough to tackle, who are really fast and are home run hitters. But Ramondre, I think he's safe. I think for both of those guys, him and Antonio Gibson, unless the ball security remains an issue, I don't see why you'd want to get rid of them. Like, Ramondre's deal is not easy to get out of. You're not going to trade him to anybody. You don't want him. So he's sticking around. It's just a matter of, all right, can we trust? Do we have so little faith in him that we're just going to keep him around regardless and kind of eat it or whatever? And Antonio Gibson, his vision's a little shoddy, and I don't know how Josh is going to feel about that, but you can't deny the talent. So I could see Henderson either being a compliment to him, again, as guys who are equally threatening as receivers and runners, or I could see him honestly being the guy who replaces Antonio Gibson if they don't love his fit in this new offense.
What you don't know with anything across the board, and that's what makes it interesting. You draft these players and you try to fit them in, and we're trying to play these depth chart games. But again, you have to take into consideration that a new regime doesn't give a crap about the people who were here before. None, zero. So like while you're going to say you're going to come in with open eyes, it's possible Vrabel's walking through the door thinking, I love Stevenson. I want to give this guy another chance. And I like his talent and he's going to be great and we can fix the fumbling issues. Or he's walking through the door and being like, I can't wait to bounce this guy. Like, I don't have any use for this guy at all. I don't like his game. I don't like this. We don't know. You really don't know. So like, there's nothing safe and there's nothing certain at all. And I think the backfield, the line, and the receivers, when you add all of these bodies in here and you've got these guys bringing in their own people, whether it be in free agency, and again, you're talking about drafting a receiver and signing two, that puts a lot of people on notice right now. What you're thinking about doing. You went out and you drafted 2 more linemen after you drafted 2 last year and 3 the year before. Okay, like it's like we didn't do it right, so we got to do it again. Like, I got to clean up your mess here. That alone sends a message, in terms of what they're thinking. And look, you're not just drafting for this year. You're always looking ahead. You got to reload. It's another thing Belichick was awful at in the later stages of his tenure as a personnel head, is you would approach drafts with like, I don't have a single tight end under contract and we didn't draft one, or I don't have the next back to come through here. So you always have to be reloading before you need, look
at the quarterback position when Brady left. It was
obviously being the most egregious, right?
Sure.
And that's a hubris and arrogance, and that's what happened with Bill in his later stages here. And I think honestly, what certainly, kind of accelerated his departure and demise, that what the plan wasn't to get rid of him when they did, but it just became untenable. And I think for reasons like that. So for all that Bill did, those are the things that drove people insane. No idea.
The dream is dead for Amit.
Tory
Horton.
Damn.
Tory Horton has been drafted by the Seattle Seahawks.
I wish you didn't say that, because I need Amit to do good work for the rest of the day. And I can't have him be sad.
That's not good for business. Sad Amit is bad for business.
Sad Amit is bad for business. 2 things I don't want Amit doing. I don't want him going out with you guys on the road.
Us?
Yeah, you heard me.
I know.
Oh boy.
I'm Mr. Sober Sailor over here. Mr. Sober, I got a girlfriend. Oh my God. All right. So since we're kind of just bullshitting now a little bit, dude,
a blueberry muffin.
When we were at the combine, we went out to this bar, saw Chris Johnson, by the way. He just like randomly walked in with 2 women. I was like
4.2 40-yard dash, Chris Johnson.
Because we're in Bama, and he ended up on the field the next day. So I was like, it definitely was him. He like walks in. He's a 6-foot-tall dude with like thick dreads and looks like Chris Johnson. So that was just a fun part of it. But I'm sitting at the bar, like drinking my water, texting Liz, and this dude comes over to me. No, literally, because I was sober. Like it was when I stopped drinking.
Listen to friggin' Angel Boy here. Just put it. Can we put a virtual halo over Taylor?
Here's
I'm
why.
texting my girlfriend because I miss
Here's
her
why.
drinking a water. Amit dragged me to the bar.
I didn't want to go.
It's going
I wanted
to
stay in
make
the
sense in
hotel
a
room
second.
and watch
All right.
film. Liz,
So
I
this
swear.
massive dude who like looks like a defensive tackle comes over to me, and he's like asking me all these questions, and then it like kind of just like making conversation. I'm like, I don't want to piss this guy off, and he goes, "So, have you heard about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?" And I'm like, dude, you are clearly very drunk. And like, I've heard you talking shit for an hour, just minding my own business. This man comes over to me and tries to sell me on religion as if he's like, I know you like to have fun, but you're a sinner. I know we all do it. We all do it, right? And then he says, he's like, I've been arrested twice. It's fine. I'm like, what? I'm like, dude, I'm like, look at my phone. My background, look at my phone. My background is literally me and Liz. I'm drinking a water. I'm like, bro, you got the wrong one. Like, I know you're trying to save somebody right now in this very drunken state, but I am not the one you need to be like selling religion to. And then I don't even know where Amit was. I lost him at that point. He was in the back.
That's my concern is when you lose Amit. Here.
I was better in Indy though. I was on top of myself and him.
That's fine. So we are getting close here. One player that went during this run, in addition to Horton, just a couple picks before that I kind of sort of had my eye on was Mitchell Evans.
Notre Dame.
Yep, Notre Dame.
I'm going to pop for 1 second. I'll be back for the.
Yep. Also, just now for the local people out there, Drew Kendall,
my
Boston,
boy
from O-Line U from Boston College going in there. Boston College sending, is that 3 now? They had
Zaraku and Trapillo.
Yep. To the NFL. So attaboy to BC, Bill O'Brien.
Doug Marrone.
Yeah, Doug Marrone. So that's good. We are now 3 picks away. And yes, Taylor is a man of focus. And as we put it here, Commander Ray, sheer effing will. No question about that.
I love y'all a lot because honestly, when we do these and I look up at the time, sometimes I'm like, Jesus Christ, I forgot I haven't eaten or like been a human, but I love this audience and you make it fun.
Yeah. Like DSS is going to knock at my door right now because my wife and eldest are out of town at a soccer tournament. And so I've had the twins and I'm like, Daddy's going to go talk to people about football on his computer for the next 7 hours. So you guys, you can have your devices and feed yourselves. For all I know, they're like knife fighting in the kitchen right now. Like they haven't eaten, they haven't bathed, nothing. It's so frigging negligent right now.
Kids.
It is what it is. There's no sound. That could be a good or a bad thing. That's, when Mike comes, I actually have to go check and see if my twins are alive.
There you go.
Yeah, when Mike comes back. Let's see where we are right now. Pick 169, Za Frazier going. We've got the Bills who are on the clock right now, then the Patriots, and then we are probably going to wrap things up here for the day. 7th round picks, they are what they are. And I'm sorry, Horton is gone. Should we tell him?
You need to check on your twins, I heard.
I have to make sure they're alive before the Patriots go on the clock. I'm going.
I was in the kitchen. I'm in the kitchen. And Kate goes, "Hey, John just said that he needs to make sure his children are alive. You might want to get
because we don't know.
Go.
All right. So
children are in danger.
That's so funny. Well, we're 2 picks away. Hopefully the kids are safe. What did he do? I gotta know what happened. But you see Mel Kiper almost crying after Shedeur got picked. He was so mad. He's like,
oh, why?
He was so pissed off, saying that the NFL doesn't know how to evaluate quarterbacks. Do you have all your children?
I just walked out. I was like, "Hey, girls, you're okay?" They're like, yeah, and that was it.
Okay, sounds good.
Parenting, father of the year. Patriots are on the clock. The Bills have picked.
Okay.
Somewhere in here, I have a Patriots are on the clock. There it is.
On for Reese.
Who do you want, guys? Who's left? Who's left? Taylor. Horton's gone.
David Martinez, I like a lot as a running back, as a workhorse. He reminds me a lot of Mondre.
Ahmed, get out of the chat.
Is JJ Peak still here? I think most of these guys are gone, so this is not relevant. What do you got, Mike?
Anybody left?
Is Kobe Bryant gone?
You got Swinson. You got Farmer. Kadlick nailing it with day 3 targets.
If Kobe Bryant goes off the board, I don't know if Kobe Bryant's gone yet. Can somebody tell me in the chat? I don't know if he went yet.
Let me get the consensus big board real quick. Bryant.
Kobe Bryant's still available, so
I think he's one of the best. Dorian Strong, also a corner.
if I go 1, 2, 3 on
Paul,
the big board, that's fire.
Chris Paul still available. I'd like to see a tight end or a corner or trenches. I'm cool with trenches.
I wonder if this is a trade out spot again. If anyone wants
How
it.
about quarterback here?
Why would you draft a quarterback?
A non-threatening developmental backup quarterback.
Riley Leonard?
I don't think that that's something that is off the table here. And I
They
think this
just
is
said they wanted to create an ecosystem that fits Drake May. How does a developmental quarterback help Drake May? Sign somebody off the street.
somebody whose career arc, whose ceiling is career backup. You need what? This is where you get these guys.
Well, next year, you do that next year when it is clearly Drake May's team. He's had a good season. They said that if they draft a quarterback,
They
I will
traded
be
back.
disappointed.
They traded back, I am told.
Okay.
Which means we can't go anywhere.
Oh God.
Kids, we'll eat eventually. I promise. I don't think they've even had breakfast. Forget lunch.
I haven't either. I drank a coffee. Oh God, there it is.
Yeah.
They traded out of the 5th round. So they're up at another 11 picks.
Trade alert. 11 picks. We can do this.
According to Mark Daniels.
If they're out of the 5th, do we keep going?
We go.
Into the 6th?
But it's only it's 10 spots back.
We're doing it. Are you kidding? We got 2K here in the room.
No.
Hey,
Go ahead. Put it up, Mike.
I'm trying. 1 second. Image file. Where are you? There we go. Oh, no. There we go.
Did they not pick anything?
Traded out of the 5th round. They're sending 171 to the Lions for 182 and 228.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
These trades always crack me up because, like, what do you think you're getting at 228 that you're not getting as an undrafted free agent? I also think it's amazing. The numbers here aren't exact, but if you look up, like, how do you quantify what counts as like a hit or a player sticking? Who sticks around for 3+ years or ends up being an NFL caliber player? Undrafted free agents have about the same success rate as people picked in round 5 through 7, which I always find insane. Like, you find so many gems there. So I never quite understand stockpiling these picks late. Maybe that's always to just, there's going to be a rush on the kickers or something like that as soon as it's over and you want to get your guy. So you just get that extra 7th round pick to make sure that you lock it in. I'm not really sure what it is that you're looking for here when you're adding picks this late in the draft versus just grabbing what you're grabbing. And how they're calculating that, like, yeah, this is what we need. But again, they bump down a little bit. We'll hang out a little bit longer as we kind of wait for this to happen. And again, the picks are coming fast and furious here with their
starts to speed up at this point for sure. So
yeah.
I thought it was kind of interesting. All the Patriots trade partners are guys. It's not surprising, but guys that or teams that they're pretty tight with. Like, they traded with the Seahawks. John Schneider and Ellie Wolf are very close. They traded with who's the other one? They traded
the Lions
with
just
the
now.
Panthers. That's Ryan Cowden. They traded with the Lions also, and obviously Terrell Williams there.
Yeah. Let's throw in a couple of super chats here. Thank you, Jeff. Already said it. The draft coverage amazing. We said that. We've got Anthony Get Borregalis at 220.
I'm going to be honest. I don't know who that is.
Yeah. Asking a question here. Great coverage. What was your favorite pick, Swinson or Kyle Williams, in terms of where you got him? Mike, what do you think there?
I've said it a bunch, but I'll say it again for the super chat. My favorite pick is Jared Wilson, and it's because of not only a potential starting center, which is an important position, but also everything they did around it. A guy who was a potential first-round pick, according to some anyway. The Patriots were sitting at pick 77. They moved all the way back twice from 77 to 85 to 95. still landed Jared Wilson. Then they used one of those picks, moved up to go get Joshua Farmer, and they still have a 4th next year out of it. So everything surrounding that pick was awesome. So that's my favorite one for sure. I think they completely worked the board in a really good way there. Again, hopefully it works out, but the way they worked the way they worked the Jared Wilson pick was awesome.
Okay. The question was Swinson or Kyle Williams?
No. What was your favorite pick?
I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Okay. Well, wait, hold on. No. Swinson.
No. That
Kyle
was his.
Williams
That was
the
his.
answer.
It was asking what your favorite pick was. I agree. I like the Wilson one a lot, honestly, because you're getting arguably the best player at that position at that point in the draft, and a person who I think is very, very much in play for day one starter and a massive upgrade over what you had. And again, adding potentially 2 foundational pieces to your offensive line in one draft, I think is huge. And they needed that so freaking badly. I also love overall looking at the draft. I love if you've locked in your line to a point that you feel pretty good about it. And again, you're always going to be looking to upgrade here along the way. You finally do reach a point where you can, again, I people hate, everyone wants weapons, but it usually works. The quarterback in the line has to be first and then everything else after. You can singularly focus on getting your A1 X receiver next year, whether it be in a trade or free agency. Hopefully, if you put together some good results this year, you're not this shitty place that nobody wants to play in. You're looking at year 2 with Vrabel and a little bit more stability versus third head coach, and a lot of the things that might have prevented people from wanting to play here. And if you put a good solid year of Drake May on film and people see it, this is the type of place where you might be able to attract that coming up later on. So I do think like that's a thing that you're probably going to address in later years, but you really needed this foundation in place, which is great. Again, going through super chats, Walker Phillips, John, get a babysitter. Yes, you are correct. That is probably something that I need to do.
So use the super chat to pay the babysitter.
Exactly. And Nick putting it up here, guys, what's your expectations of the defense this season? Again, they went heavy offense in the draft, but they really, really, really focused on defense a lot in free agency. You have the hopefully healthy return of Christian Barmore, which was a nice boon for that defensive line. And you've added pieces along the way here in free agency. And then again, here in day 3 in the draft, you got Carlton Davis to play opposite Christian Gonzalez at cornerback. You draft a safety and 2 players on the defensive line that can compete for time. How are you feeling overall about the defense today?
I already felt pretty good about it. I just thought they needed to add some explosiveness, especially up front, and they did exactly that. I also just made the connection to Kayvon Chason, who has a very similar skill set to Braden Swinson. Where did he go to college?
Chason was LSU?
Facts, my dog.
Kayvon Chason went to LSU as well.
Okay.
So I'll wait more of a deeper connection there. But yeah, I think they got the juice they needed in the pass rush. They got Milton Williams. They got Braden Swinson. They got Caleb. They got Harold Landry. Like the defensive line has done a true 180. Like you have 2 sets of like hockey lines where you can start with Landry, Barmore,
Forgot about Landry
Williams,
too. Yeah. Jeez,
and Keon White. And then you can go, okay, Caleb, Braden Swinson, Joshua Farmer. If you want to kick Keon White in, like there's a lot of different combinations you can have now. And you got yourself your safety. I didn't think that was the biggest need. Again, I need to watch more of Craig Woodson, but one of the best places to get a playmaker is at safety because you're playing in space. A lot of the time you're reading what the quarterback is doing. It puts you in position to make more plays on the ball versus a corner where you can, especially with the Patriots, you're playing a lot of man coverage. It's really hard to make plays on the ball when you're watching your receiver. So Vrabel said they wanted to be playmaking defense. They wanted to get faster, more explosive. They absolutely checked those boxes.
Browns GM Andrew Berry spoke after the Shedeur Sanders pick. I'm just completely fascinated by this entire thing. He was asked about it. He said he's highly accurate, can play well from the pocket, very productive college career. It wasn't necessarily the plan going into the weekend to draft 2 quarterbacks. We believe in best player available. We didn't expect him to be available in the 5th. So I feel like BPA doesn't count towards quarterbacks.
You can't say you didn't think he was going to be available when you already drafted a quarterback.
I
Right?
don't get it. I don't get it.
Nope.
Did anybody follow up with why didn't you just take him when you got a quarterback then?
I don't know.
If they didn't, I'm
so
not.
That's here's the other question. And again, the question I would have liked to ask is, Jesus, I'm cramping right now. The quarterback they drafted in the third,
Dylan
Gabriel. Did they have Gabriel higher on their board than Sanders?
No. With all things considered, I would say purely on field, no shot.
I'm wondering because that's what makes no sense either.
I think if you put the whole picture into perspective, then I could see that because clearly he was. I don't think they would have taken him if he wasn't.
Again, speculation alert. At what point did the owner say, guys, take this fucking guy?
I think it's ownership. I think it was ownership with Shedeur.
Yeah.
How else do you explain Stefanski and Andrew Berry both looking disappointed, knowing they're on camera? It's not like these aren't hidden. They know there's cameras in the war room to catch their reactions. That's great. Like the amount of pissed off or just disappointed you need to be to not even care. I think that's very telling that ownership got involved yet again. Because I also wonder with the Deshaun thing, how much of that was actually Andrew Berry being like, this is a wise investment versus the Haslams having zero awareness of what's going on and being like, ooh, good quarterback 2 years ago.
Yeah, we are rounding out. We're close to the end of round 5 here. The Seattle Seahawks are on the clock with pick 175. The Baltimore Ravens come up next at 176. The Patriots, who traded out of the 5th round into the 6th round, have the 6th pick in the 6th round at pick number 182. We are planning on hanging. If they trade down, someone on this stream might kill themselves, but I don't know who that's going to be. But we're gonna hang. We're hanging because we're here.
Because that's what we do.
Well, we're hanging because you guys are here. So again, thank you to everybody who's hanging out and watching here. Again, the Patriots did trade out and they're did I do game time this show or just prize picks?
I don't remember.
Let's talk about let's take a quick pause for one of our sponsors here in our Draft Central coverage, and that is Game Time. And by now, you know what to do here. If you want to get in and watch the Patriots this season, excitement here. You might need to go secondary market for your tickets. You might need help. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download that Game Time app, create an account, use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Terrific features here. Panoramic views from your seats, all-in pricing, so there's no hidden fees at checkout. Price match guarantee. If you find a better deal somewhere else, guaranteed up to 110% with Game Time. So again, this is the place to go if you want to check it out and you want to get in and you want to see some action, whatever it is, sports, concerts, comedy. Who's that guy? Nate, the comedian that everybody loves?
Bargatze.
He's at the Garden.
Oh, nice.
That's fun. A lot of shows. Like I said, concert season. I loves me some concerts. Check it out. Download that Game Time app. Create an account. Code CLNS, $20 off your first purchase. Also, Celtics and Magic. What we're hoping is a closeout game on Tuesday. If you want to go check that out, Game Time can help you get there. What time is it, guys? It is game time. It's game time. It is also, is it officially the end of the 5th round? Let me see. Are we through it?
Not yet.
Not yet. We're close. Is the Game Time music still playing, or is that just me?
That's definitely the Game Time.
Okay, still playing. That's definitely the Game Time music. Or do I just hear that in my head? Ravens are on the clock with the final pick of the 5th round. Then we're heading into round 6, and we're going to get through there and see what happens here. What else we got?
My buddy sent me this. I figured we can play this game. For sake of discussion, I know it's hard to do. Football only. You have one game, end of season, to get to the playoffs. Rank who you would start 1 through 5.
Of these guys?
Yeah.
Flacco,
and I didn't want to stop playing.
Okay, fine. That's fair. For sake of discussion, purely football, it's hard to do. I went Flacco, Watson, Sanders, Pickett, Gabriel.
The funny thing about Flacco is he's either going to be the guy who's going to go out there and throw for 440 yards and 4 touchdowns, or 3 interceptions for like minus 20 yards and 11 sacks, and he gets benched in the first quarter. Like, there's no in between there. I feel like with Flacco, it's either absolutely the right decision or absolutely the worst decision you've ever made in your life. That being said, just having to be in a position to make that decision is almost assured that you're going to lose your job sometime soon.
Yeah.
Because, oh my God, you got to find a way to get Jameis in there too. Like, Jameis has to find his way back.
This is setting up for Dion to take the Browns job in a couple of years. As crazy as that sounds.
Yeah.
I don't think anything with that man sounds crazy.
Isaiah Bond, a name that keeps coming up in the conversations here. You guys have an opinion?
I don't think they're going to take anybody where people question the consistency of their production or like motivation and things like that. So I don't think he's an option for them. I also don't think he's quite talented enough. Actually, no. I mean, like, now he's such a steal. It doesn't, like, he's more than talented.
I know it's late enough,
but I just don't think I'll let somebody else take the risk. I'm good. I got Kyle Williams.
I guess that's also fair. Yeah, the receiver room's crowded enough. I wonder if they do end up taking another swing, but it's late enough where you bring in Bond. If he beats someone out, he beats someone out, and if not, it doesn't matter because it's a 6th-round pick. So,
any consensus top 100 guys right now that we see that have fallen kind of out that are still available?
Oh, let's see. Reload. Please go for my computer is bugging out.
Best available guys. Again, if you're talking about quarterback, you've still got, Will Howard out there, Quinn Ewers as well. If you are going to, draft for a backup. Martinez is still there, Mike.
Oh,
I know.
Yes. So, are you on the consensus?
No, I'm just kind of looking around for just some names among the best availables. I'm just kind of, but what do you got?
So Damian Martinez, running back, wide receiver Isaiah Bond, quarterback Will Howard, wide receiver Xavier Restrepo. I would much prefer him over Bond. Just because he's a guy you know exactly what you're getting. Quarterback Quinn Ewers, blech. Running back Devin Neal, edge Jared Ivey, cornerback Dorian Strong, cornerback Kobe Bryant. Bro, he would be a crazy steal. I'd be so happy with Kobe Bryant. Quarterback Kyle. If they took a quarterback over, okay. Think about the names that I'm listing and tell me if you think it's smarter to get a developmental career backup or a guy who's actually going to contribute for you.
Look, this is nasty business when you get into the 6th round. You're drafting things that are gross, like special teamers,
no, but like also
kickers,
fill a
punters,
role
long snappers, returners.
Yes, but those are things that like they fill a need. You don't need a developmental quarterback right now.
Not developmental, but right. You know,
like a camp arm, right? You need a camp arm, and you can like Trace McSorley was a camp arm. Before he threw passes at the combine. So Kobe Bryant, quarterback Kyle McCord, defensive tackle Aeneas Peebles. Really? That's surprising. I love him.
Mario,
the other guy at the
Van
Senior Bowl who was just like tearing
Peebles.
it up. Yeah. Wide receiver Tez Johnson. That's an interesting one. I thought he was going to get taken by the Broncos because Bo Nix is his adopted brother.
Yeah.
And then running back Brashard Smith. I think he's just Antonio Gibson, but smaller, to be honest. I never really understood the people, unless they don't like Gibson. I just didn't see it because he doesn't he's a good runner, but it's not like he's special as a runner. And he's like got solid contact balance, but he's kind of frail. Like he's just a skinny guy. He looks like a receiver who transitioned to running back. I mean, Antonio Gibson looks like a running back who, if you find out he used to play receiver, you can't really wrap your head around it because he's so big. And then offensive tackle Logan Bryan, cornerback Zy Alexander, JJ Pegs or Pegas, however you say his name, is still on the board. Wait, I know somebody has a pronunciation guide. I should find it. But yeah, those are the big names that really jump out. Chase Lund, I know the BSJ guys, or I'm sorry, New England Sports Journal guys really like him. Antoine Power Island, if they want to get another pass rusher. LaQuint Allen, who I really love as a third down running back. And there's some linebackers. You got Kobe King out of Penn State. And then you start getting in. Oh, Holland Pierce is still on the board. My big boy from the Shrine Bowl, offensive tackle. He would be a very interesting pick.
All right, pick one.
I was listening.
I'm saying pick right now. Pick the guy you like.
I would probably go Kobe Bryant. I think he's the best value for them.
You're in that too, right?
Yeah.
for sure. For sure.
I think so for value at this point.
Him or Dorian Strong, whoever they
He's
like
the
more.
Virginia Tech corner, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I also wonder who was the offensive tackle.
10. We just hit 10,000. 10,000 people
Let's
watching
go.
right now across all our
I gotta
streams. I just wanna
screenshot this.
say
Holy crap.
10,000.
10K.
Unreal.
Appreciate you as always.
Unreal.
Oh, Restrepo was the other one that I wouldn't hate.
Yeah,
I
for
know-
sure. Because it's so easy. It's like literally
Yeah.
watch Danny Amendola
Yeah.
until
Right.
you get to Foxboro.
Real quick, while we have a minute here, I want to let you know because again, the draft coverage is going to wrap up today in terms of live draft coverage, but we're going to keep talking about these guys for a while. And again, some of these players that Taylor hasn't gotten a chance to take extensive looks at, he's going to be digging into the film in the next few days. And some guys he did look at, we're going to be, pumping out kind of new stuff and taking a bigger look and a closer look, at guys like Travion Henderson and Kyle Williams, just to see exactly what it is that they bring. As you guys know, who are fans of Taylor and fans of this channel, there's nobody better in the business at this stuff. If you want to take advantage of Mike, you don't have to leave just because I'm saying nice things about Taylor.
That made me really uncomfortable.
If you want to take advantage of this opportunity, Patriots Press Pass offering bonus memberships as bonus content, which includes some deep dive film review, which Taylor's going to get in on right now, which you can sign up for. Also, a chance to talk with these guys directly, both on members only AMAs that we do every Friday, but also Taylor's going to be hopping on Discord and opening up the microphone and letting you guys come in and talk to him directly and just go back and forth and chat. So those are among the things that you get. There's a lot of other things that you can get on the channel as well in terms of exclusive interviews, other premium content that we're offering, first look, ad-free, YouTube advertisement, free content for everybody who wants to watch it without any of the ads popping in here, and a first chance to watch the content before we release it to anybody in the public. All of that is available on memberships. You can sign up right here in YouTube. Go ahead. There's three tiers of coverage. Sign up for whichever one works for you. You can always upgrade or downgrade if it's not working out for you, but something you should definitely check out if you're interested in extra coverage. We try to do as much of this free as possible because we like doing it. And so that doesn't change anything about Patriots Daily and all the other stuff that you're going to get for free here. But there is a chance for some more bonus coverage. We will also be involving guys like Greg Bedard, Mike Giardi, and Andrew Callahan in that bonus coverage with some of the AMAs and some of the other things with some of their film reviews as well there. So feel free to check it out. Once again, Patriots have pick number 182 coming up here in the 6th round. Let's see where we're at, guys. Baltimore Ravens. I feel like it's the Bills and the Ravens have been on the clock nonstop. They have like every pick here, but the Ravens are on the clock at 178. Right now, Buffalo picked. I don't know who they picked yet, but if any of our little binkies goes, we will make sure to let you know. Let's see.
I noticed that I did kind of jump off once you were starting to talk about how great Taylor was.
Mike's part of this too. Yeah.
I heard a scream from the other room, and the fiance almost fell off her walking pad.
Oh, geez.
She was, like the
Is that
treadmill
like a
walking
station?
pads.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I have one of those.
It's raining outside, so instead of going out for a walk or a run, she's just on the walking pad, and I heard a whoa, and I was like, "What the hell?" I went and said, "Are you okay?" She goes, "Yeah."
Stationary. How did you almost fall?
Dorian Strong to the Bills.
Damn.
I
don't like that
Why?
because I like him. They drafted 2 corners, by the way. It's the second corner they drafted. Maxwell Harrison, 1st round.
Oh yeah. Did you see the video of Harrison hyping up all the guys in the green room?
No.
Every time, like Will Campbell, Ashton Genty, a couple more, I forget, but they were all, whenever they would go out to get introduced by Goodell, Harrison was standing up, clapping for them, dapping them up, and doing a whole thing. It was pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Hope he keeps that energy during Patriots games.
Yeah.
Bill's getting cornerbacks to try to negate Drake May's superpowers. They're looking 2-3 years down the road for when the Patriots are coming. Just letting you guys know.
Oh, this is a great point by Andrew. Yeah, I forgot our boy Mike Pellegrino's down there. He's getting himself some man corners. That makes sense. Why?
Another guy you like to hang out at the bar with, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't Pellegrino we were hanging out with you guys one of these things?
Yeah.
All these guys. It's everybody. You go to these meetings, you just get to hang out with people.
Everyone goes.
I saw Dietrich White. Oh, sorry.
You hung out with Braves?
Dietrich Wise, I saw outside of
Hung out with Vrabel?
the media row or whatever. Who else?
Matt Patricia.
Oh, Matt Patricia. Yeah, I talked to him for
These
a
guys
second.
are all there. They're all hanging
Lindsay
out.
Rhodes, she's awesome. It's the cool thing about these. It's kind of wild. You like literally just turn and you see somebody from the internet or TV or something.
Yeah. And they see
Brandon
you.
Bolden. I saw we interviewed Brandon Bolden. Keep going.
Who was somebody else? Oh, the Jameis interview was kind of funny on the channel.
Oh yeah. Oh, Jakob Johnson at the Super Bowl.
I forgot you guys did Super Bowl media week too.
Josh Sweat was cool. He was supposed to go to another availability and he saw I had been waiting for like 10 minutes and was like, hold up. And then he let me talk. The guy also who was coordinating the interview was a dickhead. I was like trying to be polite and like just ask him something. He literally put his hand up and didn't look at me. And I was like, dude, I'll bite that shit. Like, don't put your hand in my face. I'm not a very like aggressive or angry person. There were a couple of times during that media row where some people really needed to be taught some manners. And I was like, no, you don't understand. You need to back up. You got the wrong one, bro.
Yikes.
I can code switch real quick. Like, don't push me, man. Because a lot of it is people from the internet who aren't used to like media settings where you're supposed to be cordial and like some level of respect, and they just come in like, well, I got a quirky question. God. Somebody tried some shit with Jameis. They tried to make a crab legs joke, and he was just like, "Are you trying to be funny?" And just embarrassed the guy. And the guy was kind of awkward too, so it made me just want to die on.
I know
spot.
you get these Super Bowl media day vibes, with all of this stuff, and it's just
what's his name? Who's the guy from Jimmy Kimmel that always shows up?
Yeah, he was there.
Oh yeah, his guy, his
Guillermo.
Guillermo was at the finals, and our owner and founder Nick Gelso just couldn't get enough of him. He's just chasing him around. He's like, we got to get Guillermo, and I'm like, we do.
I was standing next to him for Hertz, I think.
I was like, do we have to?
Should we tell the wheelchair story, Amit?
Amit put it in the chat. I don't know.
There's a wheelchair story?
The same night that Vrabel was at the same bar as us, we're like about to leave, and Brian and Amit are in the bathroom. I'm like standing in a corner on my phone, and this guy in like a motorized chair is like, I guess he was trying to get past me, and I was like, oh, my bad, I'll try to get out of your way. And I like make myself skinny, and the guy runs over my foot. I'm like, all right, maybe I'm a big guy and he couldn't get around me, whatever, it's fine. This dude puts it in reverse and purposely backs up on me, and I'm like, yo, are you crazy? And he's like, get the out of the way, and starts yelling at me. I'm like, no. Like, you must be tripping right now. Then I'm like trying to handle it. Like, I'm pissed, but I'm trying to like stay calm. Amit comes out of the bathroom. He's pissed. He's like, yo, what the? And he's like, yo, who you think you are? He's like stepping this dude in the motorized chair. And I'm like, all right, now we got to get out of here. And then the guy, when we try to leave, the bouncer comes over and tells him he's got to leave. He freaking turns it on 10 and drives through a crowd of people. This dude was drunk out of his mind, just terrorizing people in his chair.
On a wheelchair. On a motorized wheelchair.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
These are the type of stories you get as we enter the 6th round of the NFL draft, 2 hours into our round 5 coverage.
We've been on round 5 for 2 hours again here.
It's unbelievable. I want to sneak in here and say, S27 has been like all over all of these rooms and watching and commenting, and super part of our coverage here, has been asking me this question. I just didn't want to answer it because I didn't think anybody else cared. I have to come clean, even though I'm not wearing the PSG hat now. I am not a PSG fan. I'm not a PSG fan, but we oftentimes, my nephew is a huge international soccer fan, and I go onto these international soccer stores, merch stores, and we get him stuff for presents and Christmas and different things like that. And last time we were on it, my wife was like, oh, this is a cool looking hat, and bought it for me. And I wear it. And then I go out in public and people are really serious about this shit. And everyone starts to like talk to me about it. And I'm like, I'm kind of a fraud.
Don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. I just wear the hat. So I hate it. I am a bit of a poser, but she got me the hat and I needed a hat and I wore it. It's like men are like pretty simple creatures. I have like my black shoes and my brown shoes, and so I have my light hat and my dark hat. This fit my dark hat bill. And so I just wear it. It's dark blue. I like the hat. I like the logo, but I'm a fraud. And I know, but I follow Yes, and they are in the Champions League semis. I do follow, and I do watch a fair amount of soccer as well. With my daughter playing a lot and my nephew, and I dig it. I dig it.
The best part about European soccer, well, one of the best parts is that over here it's always on so early. So it's
it's great.
9, 10 a.m., 11 a.m. You can just throw on a game and watch it. So that's fun stuff.
I love that. Saturday morning, Sunday morning. It's perfect. It's perfect for that. It's the first thing I throw on the weekends, whatever game is going on, whatever match. Sorry, I use American terms and I won't change. It's a field. It's a game.
John, it's a
pitch.
I know. Anyway, just to let you know, because we're getting close, the Raiders are on the clock at 180. Patriots coming up at 182. Within a few minutes, we'll know what we have here. As we said, after this, we are going to tip out and go do our stuff. Taylor's got to eat, probably got to sleep too. My children, I don't know what the hell they need, but probably something.
Are there signs of life still?
I figure what we'll do and we can plan this out on the air if we want. Are we going to do a live day 3 wrap?
We'll come up and just put a little bow on it with a day 3 wrap once everything is over and we get an idea. After we hear from the Patriots, there's going to be a conference call, a video call with Ryan Cowden, right? Yep. Coming up at the end of the draft. After we dip in on that, we'll jump back out and just kind of do a little bit of a wrap here. But then we'll have individual videos up on the Patriots Press Pass site, breaking down each pick in greater detail. And then in the coming days, you're going to get some Tayler Kyles film review material as well. So there's a lot more stuff to go here on the channel. And there's still a little bit of more live coverage here as well. So again, we love that you guys have been here with us all day. I love this, guys. I mean, I really do. I can't get enough of this type of coverage. And I'm not going to pretend I put in the work that you guys put in, breaking down and looking at all these guys and all these players. I just love the theater of it. I love the drama. I love the excitement. I love the promise of a new day. Offseason is so great. When you're a team like the Patriots, like, it's cool to go back to your roots, right? Like, of like wanting things and like, I grew up in the, you guys only adopted the darkness. I was molded by it. Okay. I grew up in some dark times rooting for these Patriots teams, and a little bit of hunger is not a bad thing. And that's what's being experienced now is like, I'll put up this super chat again because I think it's great. It's our LF go moment for Pats Nation, right? Vastly improved on offense day 1, day 2, lots of good things going on. Thank you, Walker Phillips, for the donation here. But yes,
thank you.
That's the type of vibe that you get. It's your LFG. Let's effing go moment here. Wow, Miami got our guy. Who was our guy, guys?
They took Ollie Gordon, running
Ollie
back
Gordon,
from Oklahoma State. Wasn't really a Pats guy necessarily, but
yeah, I didn't.
Okay, Eagles are on the clock right before the Patriots. The Raiders have picked. I don't know what that pick is, but the Eagles are on the clock. Patriots are coming up next, so we will have that hopefully soon. And again, we have passed 2 hours. I'll tell you this too. What's also amazing is the deeper we got, the bigger this audience got, and I understand why. The TV guys have probably been talking about Shedeur Sanders for 7 hours today, and like large storylines, and that's what you need to do to keep people's attention in national television broadcasts. You need to come to the locals to get some stuff about your team, and I totally get it. I bet you collectively the amount of time spent on national broadcasts talking about the players the Patriots picked was like 45 seconds. Sometimes you're not even going to get a mention of them. So again, you want to hear people talking about it, and people who've done some of their homework and have thoughts and opinions. You've come here, and we are thankful for that. Patriots are 1 pick away, McCord to Philly, so the Patriots at this point would be on the clock. Is that correct? Yeah, Patriots.
That is correct.
Yeah. Patriots are on the clock with their with pick 182 in the 6th round. I don't know what I'm going to do if they trade it. I really don't. But let's see. Let's see.
Kobe Bryant. I'm not saying that's it. I'm saying that's what I want. That's my pick. That's my guess. Go get Kobe Bryant out of Kansas. Dun 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 dun.
Dum, 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 dum,
Dun,
dum,
dun,
dum.
dun, 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 dun.
All right, Mike, what is it? I'm sorry, not you, Reese.
Oh, is he our guy?
Just refresh.
Reese is the
He's our
emoji
big
guy.
keeper on day 3.
I'm waiting for a snake emoji. The Lakers Kobe Bryant's
Black Mamba?
Black Mamba thing. That's what would tell me that it's Kobe Bryant.
What if it's like a steak, like Kobe beef?
Okay. That could work.
Honestly, that's kind of a tough one to do. I feel like
Yeah.
it could be misinterpreted pretty easily.
Well, that
Kobe
was
Bryant
like
is not easy.
The longer beam one, Taylor. It was like log, sun, beam, and that was like
I overthought it, but
no, that was an overthink. But so
I
would
love it.
Kobe Beef. Kobe Beef would be doing too much.
he tweeted a foot and it's a kicker. It's a kicker. It's a kicker.
Oh boy.
They get him, the Miami guy?
Well,
Maybe.
it's a foot. Okay.
It was the one starting spot they still hadn't addressed.
It is. They had to get there. You didn't know where they would.
Do we think it's the kid from Florida State?
That's a good question. Who did I mock? I think I did mock the guy from Florida. There was also Ben Sauls, I think the Pitt kid. We took him in one of our mocks. It was like he was really good.
I thought it's
feel like
Borregales that everybody wanted here.
There's like 3 kickers, I think, in this class. That
Ryan Fitzgerald. They met with Ryan Fitzgerald, I think.
Florida State. Borregales is Miami.
Yeah. Well, we just got a
Let's see
big
what
old
the
super
big
chat.
board says is the best kicker. Where are the kickers? I don't think there are any kickers actually in this. I don't think there are any ranked kickers. There's not. Yeah, there's not. Where's the consensus big board on kickers? It's a big board.
I saw in terms of ratings, it is Borregales and the FSU guy. I think are the 1-2 on the consensus here. So
Yeah, mock draft database has Ryan Fitzgerald, Florida State, Andre Borregales, from Miami, Tyler Loop out of Arizona, Ben Sauls out of Pittsburgh, and that's pretty much all the names I've even heard of.
yeah, so 2 cold weather kickers here. We like it, guys from Florida State and and Miami.
Yeah, right. Someone quote tweeted the foot emoji of Reese and goes, "The Patriots are drafting Rex Ryan."
All right, let's see what we got.
Nobody's tipped it yet.
Yeah.
Aside from Reese with his feet.
We'll wait. We can wait. We've been here 2+ hours. We can wait another 30 seconds.
You're right.
People asking who confirmed it's a kicker. Mike Reese from ESPN Boston tweeted a foot and a ball, which could mean foot, just any football player. But the presumption is that the foot is kicking that ball, and that it's a kicker. We do have, while we're here, monster super chat from Eric Griffin. Just wanted to say thank you guys for killing this draft. Really appreciate all the positivity and intelligent insight. This is my new home for the draft. That's great, Eric. Thank you. Thanks to, again, special thanks to Taylor and Mike who've put in all this work. But again, all the people we got to bring on, from day one, where we had some of the old Boston media vets, Andrew Callahan, Mike Giardi, and Greg Bedard, and then all of these awesome analysts that Taylor and Mike have had on these last couple of days here, given their, who do a lot of what we do. And they do a phenomenal job tracking all of this stuff. So Eric, thank you very much. Really, really much appreciated.
Thanks, Eric.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank you.
Thank you so much, Eric.
Let's go. Anybody have it?
No, not yet. The suspense is killing me.
Has a kicker been taken yet?
No. I think it's Borregales.
I'm going to Twitter and I'm seeing Taylor's tweets.
Borregales. It's Borregales.
It
So the
is.
Miami connection. Wait, so Andre, did he know? Did he know Alonzo Highsmith? How long has he been there? 3 seasons?
I think
Oh, yeah.
so.
So Alonzo Highsmith knows him. Yeah. He was there in 2021. Might have helped recruit him.
Okay. That's it. You've checked every box.
Go home.
Yep.
That's it. Patriots pick is in. Andres Borregales.
Oh, broke it. Nice job, Doug.
Why don't you give us some you got scouting up there in terms of
No, I do not. Can somebody read a scouting report for me, please? I don't know.
Kickball far. No, here we go. Hold on. Please.
does
hold.
not have a cannon for a right leg. Accurate. Enough power to hit from distance at an admirable clip. 86% over 4 years, 75% for 50 plus over the last 2 years. Repeatable ball striking creates consistent action among the things we're talking about here. So that's what you got. That's what you got.
Yep. And Alonzo Highsmith was the GM in Miami, right?
Yeah. All right. I mean,
It's a kicker, guys. Who gives a shit?
you're
Are we
right.
gonna, it's a kicker. Let's hope he kicks. Some people really wanted this guy. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I mean, it works.
Yeah.
He's the brother of former
Also,
Miami kicker Shedeur Sanders. What were you saying, Taylor?
When Jeremy Springer told us that it didn't matter where you kicked and that weather didn't necessarily play a factor, this feels very relevant because he's from Miami.
Yeah, we had just peaked at 11,000 people with over 2,000 people on the YouTube stream, by the way, which is again bananas at this point in the draft.
God.
So Patriots,
They live
it's unreal. So yeah, incredible stuff here. And look, whatever. You wanted a kicker, you got the best one or one of the best two involved. Great. You know, I feel like Ryland.
My dad just texted me that he sees the Patriots got good picks. That's how you know they're doing well.
Really? Yeah. So there you go. Best and only kicker drafted at this point. Patriots go up in the 6th. Where did they take Ryland? Was it 4th?
Yeah. Oh, maybe it was the 4th.
I thought it was like the 5th, but maybe it might have been, honestly. Maybe.
4th round, pick 112 was Chad Ryland.
Fucking crazy. Sorry.
Jeez.
They took Chad Ryland at
it's like this,
112.
and this is actually not a reach.
They took Ryland at 112, and 3 years later took Joshua Farmer and Braden Swinson past pick 112. Again, it's different drafts, different classes. It's hard to compare, but yeesh.
We put up a poll in the chat. What do you guys grade the Patriots draft right now through, however many people have voted on it already? 78% giving the Patriots an A. So again, I'll ask you guys again and we'll wrap it. We'll be back at the end of round 7 and after the Patriots talk to us. Are you sticking with an A here?
A minus.
Maybe an A plus. They did everything. There's no significant holes on the roster right now. Like some needy camp bodies and maybe a little bit more depth, but like again, like, tight end and slot corner are the 2 spots where I think you could definitely use some developmental depth. But I'll go A.
But
I'm
also,
not gonna go A plus. They're not done yet.
I'm fine with where they're honestly. I'm fine with where they're at tight end with Henry and Hooper. Like, I don't know. I mean,
you
Hunter
can't
Henry,
draft impact that far down the draft. If you're drafting a tight end past round 2, like you're not going to improve from what you have currently. Like you have to, if you want to take a big swing at a position like that, go spend a 1st round pick next year on a tight end. If you think that's what you want, that's what you need.
The trick to tight ends is you get the freak athletes who can block. That's the recipe for a good tight end. If you can block and you have the willingness to do it, and you're a great athlete who doesn't know how to run routes and stuff, it's like give us 2 years and we will make you a weapon. Yeah.
So that's that. Again, most people, talking about here. Again, you got to feel pretty good about it, and I feel good about it. Addressing offense heavy early. Defense with some really good value picks early in day 3. The kicker being legit the last hole where you needed to bring in somebody, and that's fine whether you were going to sign somebody as an undrafted free agent or use a 6th or a 7th rounder. That's what you do. That's where you draft these guys, and that's great. So thank you guys. Thank everybody here. We are going to pop off this stream and we're going to take off and we're going to go eat, check on our children, make sure the house isn't burning, and load up and do it again. We'll be back. 7th round at the end of the round, live final wrap. Just see what they get. Quick updates on whatever they grab in the 7th round here. If anything interesting happens, that's great. And thank you. What are the last 2 picks? What do they have? 2 7ths?
Yeah, they have 2 7s. They have 220 and 228.
220, 228. We'll be back after that. So thank you. Someone just threw something at me. You threw a phone at me? Yeah. Is someone calling me? No. Okay, you just were done with the phone? Thanks, honey.
No.
You threw a phone at me? Yeah. Is someone calling me? No.
Like, what a stupid question.
It was my funniest.
Howard the Steelers.
She's the funniest human in our family by miles. This one, so friggin' crazy. No.
No. Someone calling me? No.
She might just get off my back, man.
Yeah.
She said, "Oh God,
that's good stuff."
Hilarious. All right, guys. Again, thanks. We are going to wrap it. We'll say goodbye again. Many thanks to everybody who hung out here on the chat all the way through here. Contributing to the chat, just hanging out with us here on a Saturday, deep into the afternoon. It's nice if you're home, if you're in the New England area, you're in Boston. It's a crappy weather day, perfect day to just hang out and stare at your computer screen or YouTube and watch draft coverage. I love it. If I wasn't doing it, wasn't talking, I'd be watching these guys too. Big thanks to Mike and big thanks to Tayler and all the people who came on our show. Thanks to you guys as well. Once again, subscribe to our YouTube channel here. We are, Patriots Press Pass YouTube channel is a proud member of the CLNS Media Network. You can sign up, subscribe. If you haven't already, please do. We'd love it. We want more subscriptions. We want more people to join our family and our network. We have coverage all the way through, not just draft coverage through the season. Tayler and Mike, both, for those of you new to us, are there in Foxboro, covering the Patriots in person, traveling on the road, doing all of this stuff, really plugged in, not just in terms of watching the film, but in terms of being there on the scene, talking to the people behind the scenes, what happens. We're really excited. Training camp is a huge time for us as well. Mini camp, lots and lots of coverage. Thank you to producer Amit and Bailey behind the scenes doing the Lord's work right now, just pumping it out and keeping everything up to date and keeping us informed, doing all of the work and the graphics and everything. So thanks, guys, for your efforts in this. Thanks to all the guests who joined us. And again, final thanks to all of the people who watched us all the way through. We'll be back in a little bit, so hopefully we'll see a bunch of you there. Until then, take care.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.